You are listening to Let's Talk by Broke Boys.
All right, cool. Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Let's Talk podcast. You in the background, sniffing, fucking squeaking. Right, okay, so today's guest, I've got a good friend of mine on, Dan Handley. Can I ask, I've asked you before, how did it end up getting to Handles instead of Handley?
Surname is Handley.
Yeah.
I don't know, ever since school, people have just called me Handles, literally since, like, primary school.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just gone from Handles, and then obviously when I moved from Essex up to where I am now, it's just continued. Like, I didn't say, oh, by the way, I'm Handles, that's what you call me. My new mates have just kind of called me Handles as well. I don't know why.
I was trying to think about it yesterday, but obviously after what I've just explained to you, you understand why that I couldn't remember. How did we meet? Where's the first time I met you?
I was a rep for Broke Boys, wasn't I?
Yeah, you was a rep for Broke Boys, but
back in the day. So then,
did you apply? This is what I
applied when I had the A86, didn't I?
Yeah, stop tapping the fucking table.
So I had the A86, applied for a rep back then when you.
That's what I couldn't remember.
And then I don't actually know the first time I met you.
You was I can't remember either. That's well weird, isn't it?
I'm assuming it was at a show of some description.
You was in the massive application one that we did, and we had 300
applications. It was all for YouTube, innit?
Yeah, sick. Okay, cool.
So I can't remember how you done it, but yeah.
No, that makes sense because you and... Oh, okay, this is a good story. Okay, so you applied.
Yeah.
We was going through... So I'll give background. So back in the day when we first started Broke Boys, we had reps, and we put out an application process. God, I don't know how many years it was in, but fucking hell, it was one of the big. Was
this the first time that you done it?
I think it's the first time I've.
Because I wasn't the first load of reps. I think I was the second.
No, the second.
Yeah.
So this was the second application process.
Yeah.
So this was like I don't know if you can hear that, by the way, but there is.
What is that?
It's the water from outside.
Okay.
Her on the fucking.
What should do? Cleaning the horses or
no,
something?
Yeah. Fitting it up for the fucking horses. Right. So basically, real quick. Let me just jump in. So. Obviously, if you've been... Oh, yeah, go check out the YouTube video. We've got a YouTube video right now as a BBHQ tour. Long story short, my unit is on a stables, and
it's freezing.
It's freezing, number one, and there has been... Basically, the taps that they use to give the horses the water down the bottom have frozen up because of the weather. And there's a tap right outside my unit, and the pipes run all inside my unit. And because they're inside the unit, it's warmer, they haven't frozen up. So now the tap against the wall, right out fucking side of the podcast area, is where the tap is, and they're using it. They never use it, and now they're using it. So if you can hear, I don't know, if you feel like you need a piss halfway through this, then because you can hear fucking water in the outside. Right, okay, so we had 2 rep application processes.
Yeah.
The first one was low key. It was pretty much when we started. So we had a little amount of people apply. We applied, we grabbed our reps, and that was it. The second one or the third one by this point, I think it was. I can't fucking remember.
I think it was the second one. I'm sure it was.
It was the huge one. So we did the YouTube video. You watched it. Okay, sick. Okay, this is jokes, right? So the amount of friendships that came from this is actually quite good. One of the friendships, though, I didn't know. So we were going through all the applications, and we were looking at the cars. Everyone had uploaded their car into a file, I think it was, that we had on the website. I
think so. It was like two photos, and then it was like a little form, wasn't it? Like
so
you filled about you in the car.
Yeah, you filled out the form, uploaded photos, and then we went through, looked at literally every single one, and it was a mad response. I don't think I'm going to blow my own trumpet. I don't think I've ever seen any.
It was. I remember it was like around the 300 mark.
I'm sure it was like 350 or something. But we had never had I'd never seen another brand put out rep applications. There'd be as many applicants, which was sick. So your car, it was hilarious because we obviously we saw it. And it was like, whoa. Like, this is out.
I suppose it was far from the broke boys nature, wasn't it?
But I was like, we can't turn this kid down, mate. His car's fucking sick. And the second person that applied through that, who didn't get it, but was on the he was like top of the maybe pile, was Matt and the Defender.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I'm so happy, technically, we didn't take him.
Yeah.
I tell you what lost in the application, I've told him this as well. He had a dirty diesel sticker.
Oh, did he? Oh, no.
And it was purple, and his car's maroon. So, I was just like, oh, no, to be honest with you, we got it. We got the application in for his, and I looked at it, and I looked at Mike, I went, look at this. I showed him on the iPad. He was like, what the fuck? I was like, I had a fucking Defender reply. Like, what the hell? Yeah, I was like, this is savage. Like, now we've actually got a fucking cool list of people.
Yeah.
And, he was like top of the maybe list. And then we were like...
Didn't you accept, like, was it 6, 8 people, something like that?
I can't remember, mate. I regret every single one of you.
Yeah, I regret replying.
But no, I can't remember the first time we met after that.
No.
Didn't you go and do that video for me, first of all? For Broke Boys at the Farm? But I wasn't there, because I was on holiday.
Oh, yeah, you wasn't? Yeah. Yeah, so it was the promotional video for, was it the first, yeah, it was
and
the
I hadn't
first
met you
Broke
by
Boys.
that point.
No, you hadn't, no. So I met Matt before you then. Because
What?
Matt was obviously, well, it's his dad that owns the farm, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it was the promotional video for the first Broke Boys at the Farm. She was like, can we use your car for the promotion? And I was like, yeah, sick. Because my car at that point, I hadn't owned the car that long. I'd done a lot to it, but I hadn't really owned it that long. And I'd never had a video of it. So I was like, yeah, sick, free video.
Yeah.
Drove all the way up to near Coventry and met Matt. Ryan came with me as well.
What?
And then,
what?
Yeah. So
man, I actually missed you.
Who else was there? There was
That's
Matt, me, Ryan. Oh, and obviously
Rufus.
Rufus, who done the video. Sick video.
I don't know what happened to him.
Sick video.
I've not seen. Yeah, it was.
I'm following Instagram. He does a lot for
music videos.
Now. Yeah. His work is wicked.
Yeah. He was good at the time, mate. It was one of them. I was just like, we found a gem. He's
really good. Done a video, and then I don't think I knew you weren't there until I actually got there. And Matt was like, "Oh, Dan's not coming." I was like, "Brilliant."
No, I'm sure. I can't remember.
But then I suppose the time after that, or the first time I met you was probably, well, it would have been before the farm, surely.
Yeah, I thought.
Because I helped out at the farm.
I would have thought so. 2017, the first one. Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Did you? Where was you? What did you do?
Just look busy, like I normally do.
No, the second one I can remember us standing up on the back of the truck because it was in the small field was the trade field, and the big field on the right. The first one.
There was one that I couldn't go to because I was on holiday.
Which was the.
How many has there been? 3.
Yeah, you couldn't come to the first one.
So it was the second one. It was the second one I couldn't make. The first one I made.
No.
Yeah, swear down.
Oh,
first one I made.
Okay, all right. No, I tell a lie. Yeah, I am.
First one I made. Second one I couldn't because I'm on holiday.
Yeah, because it's on the video. Remember when
there's
there's a video of us on the stage and like we panned round. I panned round. There's like me, you, and Troy all wearing the same t-shirt.
Yeah, that's
like
it. That was the first one. No, that was the first one.
Yeah.
So I'll say it must have been way before then since I met you, but I can't remember where. Your memory's as good as mine, man. They're both shocking.
Remember?
I don't remember anything.
Explain your car, because this is important.
The Corolla.
Yeah, not the fucking E92. Or the E90. What is it, E90?
Oh, I don't know what it is. Fucking hate it.
No, of course.
So yeah, the Corolla.
A86.
A86, 1984, 1985, can't remember now. Bought it in about 6 years ago now.
Yeah.
It was fresh into the country, so it's already imported into the country from Japan.
Yeah.
I bought it from the importer. And yeah, it was an 11, as they call it, which is the one with the square headlights, as opposed to the Torino, which is the one with the pop-up headlights, like Ryan's got. Yeah, bought that. And because I worked at Fensport at the time, which, if you don't know, are Toyota performance specialists in the UK.
Yeah.
Quite well known if you're into the Toyota scene. Because I worked there, I thought, that's the kind of car that I want, because I've got the workshop facilities there, I've got the tools, I've got access to parts, cheap parts. So I thought, I'm going to get a little project car like that. And I just thought they were cool.
Project car.
A little project car. I thought they were cool as fuck. And it's just a proper iconic Japanese car.
Did they fucking love you when you bought it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
How much, how much did it set you back when you first bought it?
I paid $7,000 thereabouts, maybe just under, just over. I paid $7,000 for it, for a 1984, 1985 car, which is a lot of money. But then 5 years later,
did you have a daily at the time, or was that going to be your daily?
Yeah, no. I had a daily at the time. Don't know what I had at the time.
What did you?
I've never dailied the Corolla.
What did you daily when I? You haven't had that BMW the whole time.
No, I only bought that just over a year ago.
So
I probably had.
No, there we go.
Mate, there's so many cars I can't remember.
Yeah, right. All right. So let me just quickly cut in. So I got Dan on the podcast because one, in the weird times, who I have on the podcast, I have to trust and know where you've been.
No one knows where I've been.
Yeah, maybe we should cut.
I've not been anywhere, just to throw that out there.
No. And we're trying to adhere to social distancing and all that good stuff. So that's the first thing. The second thing is you have a wicked extensive car history. Your knowledge, I don't want to say it to you about you, mate. Your knowledge goes back to the Max Power days.
No one's ever used knowledge in my name in the same sentence.
No, but
what you're trying to say is
you're older
and I've been in the scene for a long time.
No, because I find this really out of order, to be fair, because I think you just managed to mostly get into the scene at a younger age. Because when you think about it, you're 5 years older than me.
Yeah.
How old are you this year?
32.
You're 32 this year?
Yeah.
Oh,
no, I'm 33 this year.
When are you 33?
June.
Okay, yeah, you are 5 years older than me. I thought you was going to be 4 years then.
Okay.
I'm 28 this year, right? So you're 5 years older than me. And to be honest with you, a lot changes in 5 years, but it's not a massive gap, to be fair to you. And but I think you managed to get into cars, just into modified cars, just earlier than I did, just because of. I
was into modified cars before I could drive at the age of 17.
That's what I mean.
At school, I was into cars.
It took me until I started driving just as about 3 months after I turned 18, and I got into modified cars. When was it? Must have been like October. No, it would have been like 2 years after that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I got my Classic Mini. So I passed in January 2012. I got my Classic Mini by 3 months later, I think it was, 4 months later. Wasn't driving it until the end of the year because I was making sure it fucking worked. And then I spent, I don't know, I can't remember. 2013 is gone from memory, but I mean, as in, it's like, I think that was just a year where I just gallivanted around with my mates and I didn't really realise modified cars existed. I did, but it was more like on early days of Instagram, right?
Into it. Yeah.
Early days of Instagram, Googling cars, like Googling
Instagram,
slammed cars.
I weren't even around.
No, mate, 2012 is when it started, right?
Is it?
Yeah, I remember the first photo I ever took on Instagram was of some. I missed them so much. It was these blue low Nike Blazers, and it was just my feet, and they were just cool trainers. And it was
mine was with Pancake,
like a social club, down in Sidcup near where I live, and it's all a blur from there. But yeah, so it was early days of Instagram, and it was more like the Googling days of slammed cars on banded steels. Yeah. Like, do you know what I mean? Like that's those sort of Google searches.
Whereas when I started, it was massive body kits, undercar neons.
Okay, actually, I tell you what though, this is again a lie, because if I track back even further, I was always into cars. Always. I didn't just randomly get into them when I got one. I was always into them before that. Modified cars a little bit different, and I had a thing when I was back in school. I remember sitting in the library Googling body kits for Corsa Cs. Yeah. So,
same.
Again, I was into it, but I wasn't in it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I didn't know anything about it, and I didn't know it was called Max Power. I don't think it was at that point. It was, but it wasn't. Now we call it the Max Power days. It's like the Victorians weren't calling themselves the Victorians.
No, of course, yeah.
You see what
Max
I'm saying?
Power was just a magazine.
Yeah. But now it's like that was the iconic.
It's
it's been given the name, right? But that was those body kit days. I did really like them. I remember sitting in the library with a kid called Kevin, and his cousin Dan, another one. Yeah. Kevin Francis and Daniel Francis. Oh, fucking! They were funny. They were weird, and hopefully they're not listening. And no, they were all right. So we were sitting there, we were chilling, and we started looking. He was looking at body kits, and I remember looking at body kits for the Corsa C, because that's what I wanted. I wanted an all blacked out Corsa C. They were brand new at the time, I think. And then he was looking at kits for, I think it was like 106, not 106, 206. The fucking ugly bug eye looking.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
So he was looking at kits for them and stuff, and they were good.
See, I remember looking at kits for Corsa Bs. That's the difference.
Well, Corsa
Bs
it's
and
not
Saxos, because that's what I had. I had Corsa B as my first car, and then I went to the Saxo.
But hang on a second though, because then my two of my mates, when I first got into cars, when I had my Mini, before I'd ever gone to a car show, when I was like just finding out about it all, both had Corsa Bs, and my first car, technically, I said about this the other day in the other podcast that I did with who was I talking to this about? I spoke with someone the other day, and I said, it was Chubbs. Everyone's got to go check that out, by the way. So my friend Zach, I was on a podcast of his the other day, and we was talking about my first car. My first car was actually a Saxo.
Was it?
But I didn't drive it because the insurance skyrocketed and I couldn't get insured in it.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why I got you on, because you got that knowledge of those days of actually being involved in it. number one. And you've got some cool stories to tell with your work, the Toyota, the Toyotas in general. Then you've got the cool story to tell, which we'll dabble in quickly, of the journey that you did, the trip that you did from here to Japan.
Yeah.
And the fact that something that we're reminiscing on big time, which is going to take up most of the podcast,
Japan in general,
is the fact that we went to Japan in January last year.
Yep.
Which is madness, 'cause it's over a year ago.
Yeah, but we were lucky that we got it in before Rona came about.
100%, mate.
If it weren't for Rona, I'd be there now, probably.
Really?
Yeah, well, I usually go in January.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about Japan when we get there.
Okay, right. So first things first, let's talk about... let's talk about your car history.
Okay.
Try and remember as best as you possibly can.
God.
Don't go into like too much detail, because I think I'm not gonna lie to you, we'll be here forever.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, I'll go through the ones I can remember
and the iconic ones, right?
Yeah.
The ones that you think to yourself.
Might not be in order, but
my first car was fucking sick.
Well, my first car was a Corsa B.
Yeah.
It was that shitty spearmint mint colour, the bluey greeny colour that they done. Disgusting.
Yes, I fucking do.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Was that with obviously it wasn't colour coded bodyworks. It had all the black bumpers.
Yeah.
Me and my mates, I shouldn't really admit this, but me and my mates stole some hubcaps off a Micra, I think, back in the day. When I lived in Harlow in Essex.
Nice.
Cut the cable tyres, nicked them, put them on my Corsa. They looked
Cut
sick.
the cable tyres.
Yeah, everyone in Harlow cable tied them onto the wheel to stop people nicking them. All you do is just cut them. So yeah, that was my first car. And yeah, like I say, before I could drive back in school, I was looking at body kits for Corsa Bs and stuff like you was. But I never actually got round to putting a body kit or anything on that car. I didn't really do much to it. Moved from Essex to Cambridgeshire and sold that and bought a Saxo VTR. Bright yellow one.
The cool one then.
Yeah, it was a yellow one, black
I've
wheels.
seen the photo of that.
You probably have, yeah. Yellow and black leather seats.
Yeah, because they were like
shopping list down the seat. The shopping
Bumblebee.
list down the... Yeah, it was, yeah. Shopping list down the door.
Shopping list down the door?
Yeah, you have Brembo, Sparco.
Oh, okay.
None of that existed on the car.
Sorry. Oh, shopping. I've never heard it called that.
Have you not?
No.
It's called shopping list because it's 9 times out of 10 the stuff that's on the list is nothing to do with your car. It's just there to look
what you
good.
want.
It's what you want. You tick it off as you get it. So it was a Saxo, and then I had a red Mark V Fiesta Z-Tech. It's Ferrari Rosso red.
Is that the one that I've just shown you?
No, that's Mark 6. So this is a
so
Mark 5, the Z-Tech
one.
S.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That was a cool car. I like that.
It was resprayed Ferrari Rosso red. Had a what they called back in the day a Euro style body kit.
See, hang on then. Here we go. So
it was all smoothed out.
Yeah, okay.
So it's after the kind of the big chunky bumpers.
It went to
then
Euro.
It went to Euro.
Yeah,
where it's
yeah.
all smoothed out looks. Yeah. People used to smooth out door handles and stuff.
I came in at Euro look.
Yeah, you probably did. Yeah.
Euro look was a thing. My mate used to run around with a roof rack and a fucking snowboard on his roof rack.
Yeah. A lot of people. A lot of people did.
And
it was
like
a showpiece.
Euro.
Yeah. So yeah, I had that. That was a sick looking car. To be fair, I was part of the Z-Tech S Owners Club. So
of course you was.
If you're part of that back in the day, you might remember it. I had it for a few years. To be fair.
Yeah.
Had I think they were called Kesking wheels. I think they were called.
Sorry,
really nice wheels.
Butt you in. Didn't Ryan have one as well?
Yeah, Ryan did. Ryan had
Did you just buy the same fucking car?
I didn't know Ryan back then.
Oh,
I didn't know
what?
Ryan then. I didn't know Ryan
No
then.
way.
So this was before I knew Ryan. But Ryan had a
How old's Ryan?
probably about the same age as you, I think.
No, you're such a paedophile.
What?
You're such a paedophile.
Being friends with you makes me a paedophile.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I think Ryan's had the 1.7 Puma engine in. It was Focus RS green. It wasn't Focus RS green, but it was a bright green. So I had that, and then I had a Toyota Starlet.
Nice.
1.3 turbo, which is pretty cool. Didn't have that for long.
Was you at Fensport by this point? Or
No.
not? Okay, cool.
No.
So you dabbled into it before you'd even touched Fensport. Nice.
I don't know, Mark 1, a Mark 2, and a Mark 3, and a Mark 4 Fiesta, all red. weirdly enough. Not all at the same time.
We were saying this, sorry, just about you in again. Earlier on when you turned around to me and said, before I was into, surprisingly, I was into Fords.
I was into Fords.
I said it's because you're an old boy.
Yeah.
All old boys are into Fords.
That's it, yeah.
Apart from you
Fords
was into the shit Ford era, whereas most of the boys are into like old Ford Escorts. Like Mark ones.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. Sapphire, Cosworths and all that. Yeah. I loved all that, I just never afforded them.
No, I understand.
So I had Mark 1 Fiesta, which I really wanted to do up. I had it in my head how I wanted it. I wanted it chocolate brown, slammed to the floor, like cream leather interior. I just never got around to doing it.
That was the shopping list.
That was the shopping list. So it was Mark 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Fiestas I've had. I've had Ford Focus ST, the electric orange Mark 2.
Yeah, we
had
about
that.
Tic Tac.
Which was, I think I bought that like a year or two after, like new. It's not brand new. I had before that, I actually traded in to the garage to get that Focus ST. I traded in a Focus RS green Astra van.
I love it.
With a body kit,
white wheels. Astra van's the flat fucking long.
That's it. Yeah.
Should be an estate.
Yeah, that's
thing.
it. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It was cool. It was it was RS green, white wheels, body kit. It looked. Did you have a thingy?
What are the bumper? The
GSI?
GSI.
I think it was a GSI front bumper. I think it was. Yeah. It looked wicked, to be fair, but
I rated them.
I had loads of issues with it, so I actually traded that in. I don't know why they took that, but I traded that in towards the Focus ST.
How did they really sell that?
I have no idea. But the Focus ST I had for a year.
Yeah.
I stupidly got it on finance. I'd never buy a car on finance again, but I stupidly got that on finance, or I got a loan, I can't remember.
Yeah.
I had it for a year, even though the loan was like 5 years or something. Got it for a year, and the block cracked, so it needed a new engine. So I spent.
And it was second hand.
It was a year or two old through the Ford dealership.
Yeah.
It had a year's warranty, and literally, no lie, probably about a week or two after the year warranty ran out, the block cracked. So I had to spend. It was a good few grand out of my own money buying the engine, getting someone to do it, and all the rest of it. Got it back. It was fine, but I didn't really trust the engine build. I kind of got it done cheap on the side. So I just sold it. Yeah. Couldn't sell it. And then I just tried WeBuyAnyCar.com, who are known for absolutely undercutting everything.
Yeah, yes.
Just so you can get rid of a car. I drove to Peterborough, because they had the dealership in Peterborough. Guy looked around it, gave me a price of $7,500 or whatever it was, I can't remember, which was actually more than what I would have got if I sold it privately. But he said, the only thing is you need to take off the wheels, because they had aftermarket wheels, aftermarket exhaust, induction kit, dump valve, loads of stuff on it. He says, you need to put it back to standard, then we'll give you that price. I was like, all right, no worries. So I probably got another 2 or 3 grand for all the parts, then sold it for $7,500.
Do you reckon he regretted that? I got the sack for that one.
Probably. But I regret getting that car altogether, because it just left me in debt for fucking years.
I think any engine rebuild leaves you in debt, and you regret
definitely.
Like, I mean, as in if it's not if it's
a classic car, which is going to go up in value.
If it's not one that you've purposely done as well. If you've not taken a car and gone, I'm going to upgrade the engine.
Exactly,
The minute you have to rebuild the engine because it fucking died, you're like,
you've lost money instantly. And then after that, I had... Oh, God, I can't remember. So this is where it probably started turning towards the Jap scene more, because I think then, or shortly after that, I left. When I got the ST, I worked at a company called Ambient Graphics doing vehicle wraps and stuff. Then I left that and got couple of jobs in between. Then I went to Fensport, Toyota specialist. So then that's when I kind of really got into...
Did you have anything else before the 86?
What, Toyota?
Toyota-wise? Or was that the first you just dedicated?
No,
you jumped
I
straight in at an 86?
What else have I had? In between all of those other cars, I've had Astras and I've had all sorts.
Astras were a big thing back in the day. I'm not even going to slate you for them.
But
because...
it was shit, though. It was shit looking back at it now. I mean, even when I had it, it was shit, and I knew it was shit. I've had loads of little shitty cars in between all of these other nice cars.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think where I went after the ST. So I've had Honda SMX.
Yeah.
You might remember that one. The black thing with the seats folded down in the back, like a double bed.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
So I had that. I've had the Lexus GS 430, the V8, the burgundy colour thing on air ride.
Yeah. Okay. Stop a second, because that was a fucking sick car.
I loved that car.
Why you sold it, I don't know. They're thirsty, right?
Oh, very. Yeah, it's a V8, 4.3 V8.
I met you when you had that. Remember when we went Mod Nats? And you had that there.
Oh, yeah.
And that was yours still.
Yeah, I did.
You driven that.
I had loads of issues with the air ride.
You had both there, though. You had the 86 inside. This is how fucking bougie you were, bro. If you had the 86 inside and your Lexus outside.
Yeah.
Because you lived down the road. And
yeah.
You stayed there.
Yes, because my Mod Nats was at Peterborough and we lived 20 minutes down the road.
So you'd gone, got the 86 driven it, and then got someone to give you a lift back to get your Lexus.
Get my other car, yeah.
Fucking...
And I also, at the same time, I also had the SMX at the time as well. I think the SMX was the daily. The Corolla was the show car, and then
that was your peak. I
think I think it was. Yeah, and then the Lexus was like kind of
I'm yet to discover
in between cars. And then also the Volvo. Do you remember the Volvo? The Blue Estate 740. Volvo?
Yeah. I remember seeing a video of you doing a burnout.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't have that for very long. Then I had the wagon. The Toyota Mark II wagon, which was my daily.
Explain that. That's the daily that I knew you with most then. So explain that to us quickly, because that's
it's a Toyota Mark II, which is very similar to like a Cressida, kind of, what was it, 1992, I think it was.
Yeah.
Estate. It was the only one in the country.
Yeah.
I bought it. It was already basically. I see it for sale years ago on Facebook. I think years and years and years ago, when it first came into the country, and I really wanted it, but it was too expensive.
How much was it? Do you remember?
I can't remember.
Yeah,
back when I paid for it a couple of years ago, it was like $4,500, I think.
Yeah.
And then it came up for sale again years later.
Yeah.
And I see it, and I sent a photo to my mate, and I was like, "This is Tom, a good friend of mine."
Yeah.
I sent it to him. I was like, "This is sick," and he's like, "Yeah, it's all right. It's not bad." Anyway, we was going to...
It's sick to you, because this is your thing.
It's my thing, yeah. He's into the similar cars as well. That's why I sent it to him.
Okay.
And he's like, "Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad." I was like, "I really want it." And then I think a week or two after, we were going to BHP Performance Show down in Lydden Hill.
Yeah.
And a load of us were going down there. We was camping for the weekend. Yeah. And we got there, and Tom was like, "I'm not coming." I was like, "Okay, no worries." And then at the last minute, he's like, "You got any spare tickets?" And I was like, "Yeah, I got a couple." I said, "You coming now?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "Oh, what, you coming?" Because the reason he weren't coming is because he didn't have anything to come in. I said, "What, you coming in?" He goes, "Oh, you see when I get there." I was like, "All right."
Did he buy the car?
Yeah, he bought the car.
What a bastard! We all
set up camp. We were all sitting around the fire, drinking, whatever. He turns up in that. I was like, "You motherfucker!"
That's hilarious. Would you actually intended on buying it, or did you just screenshot
I was intending on buying it, although realistically, I probably couldn't afford it at the time. He turned up in it, and I just fell in love with it when he pulled up in it. And he was like, "Oh, it was slow as fuck. Like it was a 2-litre petrol. It was slow. It was heavy.
Auto as well.
It was auto. It was really heavy. It was just so comfy. It was probably
it was
VIP.
comfy.
And
you came down when you came down to the garage, and I jumped in that.
That's it. Yeah. It was a really nice car. And anyway, he had it for a little bit, and then he parked it up in his workshop. He didn't really drive it. And then one day, I had the cash because I sold the Lexus.
Yes, you did.
Sold the Lexus,
which was devastating to me.
Which was devastating, but I had the cash, and I was like, right, I'm going to go offer Tom the money for this wagon.
Quick one, what wheels was that Lexus on? The VS things or whatever they are.
No, they were.
I just envisioned them being like.
What were they called? They weren't that expensive, but they were kind of the right size for what I wanted.
Mate, they just. I think that was the best. That's got to be one of the best Lexus.
It was, but when I bought that Lexus, it was already on air ride.
Yeah.
But the wiring was so dodgy, and it was always cutting out, and I had so many issues with it. So I got my mate Stu to basically strip it all, rewire it all. I think I ended up going 4 new bags because the bags were split.
Fuck that.
It was just, and the car was overheating. I remember the day I bought it, I got halfway home and the car overheated, and Ryan had to...
It's like my Rover.
Yeah, Ryan had to like come rescue me, and it was a pain in the ass, to be fair, but...
Anyway,
so the wagon. So I said, right, I said to Ryan, I was like, I'm going to offer Tom $4,500 or whatever it was for this wagon. I texted him, I was like, we take $4,500 for it. And he's like, no. I was like, I've got $4,500 cash here. I'll drive up to you. He's only like 5 minutes up the road from me. I was like, where are you? At the workshop. He was like, yeah, I'm here now. I was like, all right, be there in a minute. So at the time, Tom used to drink this peach flavoured water. That's what he used to drink. He used to love it. So me and Ryan went to Aldi, got a trolley, and filled it with fucking peach water. This is when Ryan had his van. He had because he was a mobile body spray person. Repair, yeah. So he had the van. So we literally fucking chucked all this water. I think we sold Aldi out of all this peach water, put it onto the back of the van, drove to the workshop, opened the sliding door. All this water was in there, and I've stood there $4,500 cash. I was like, on the wagon. He was like, go on then. and I just drove it home that day. I was like, yes.
How much did the fucking water cost you?
Not a lot. It's fucking Audi, isn't it? What is it, like 20p a bottle or something?
That's
isn't it?
hilarious.
That's how I got the wagon, and then I done a few little bits to it, and then I ended up selling that because, well, same reason I sold the Corolla. I sold the Corolla and that pretty much at the same time because I needed
sensible human being came into play.
Yeah, because adult life, I needed to buy a house. So
I'm going to say it real quick as well.
Yeah.
You need to your Instagram now. What is it? I'll put it in the bio and stuff.
Handles, which is HXNDLEZ.
So it's not handles, is it?
Well, it's Handles. I had handles. I'll tell you what. The reason for that is your fault. It's your fault.
I know.
Because my name was Handles, and then when I become a rep, I had to change it to Handles_Broke_Boys. And then when reps weren't a thing anymore, I changed it back to Handles. But some twat in America took the name Handles, so I had to go Handles.
You had to go fucking cool
I had to go sing kid, yeah.
All right, yeah, cool. The reason I'm saying that is because if you're listening to this right now, you need to go on your phone and type that in, HXNDLEZ, and see the 86, because it was fucking impressive, mate.
It was. I miss it, man.
I've
regretted sending... I haven't cried, no, it's because it's so fucking cold in it.
It wipes your eyes.
I regret sending a lot of my cars, Lexus included, but the Corolla I wish I kept it for at least another year, especially the way that they're going up in value at the moment, with the way things are with classic cars in Japan coming over.
Yeah.
They're shitty A86s are selling for 25-30 grand now.
That went to Ireland, didn't it?
Yes, I actually sold it to Dream Car Giveaways, the guys that do the raffles. I sold it to them, and they drove to Fensport, looked at it, didn't really look at it, to be fair. Opened the bonnet, looked around it, was like,
we'll take it. Mate, it was one of them cars you didn't really need to look around.
No, they didn't.
I will give it to, obviously it sounds like we're doing them injustice, but to be fair to you, mate, I'd look at that car and be like, fair fucking
it was mint. It was one of, not just blowing my own trumpet, but it's probably one of the best 86s out there. Maybe not in Japan, but over here especially.
I think you'd still give people in Japan a run for their money, mate. Don't get me wrong, obviously they've got Japanese authenticity, I guess, but fuck me, mate. Like, if there was better than yours, I'd be like, what the fuck?
It was super clean, and it had never been resprayed. It was the original paint. It just been really well looked after.
Yeah.
Obviously, I spent a fortune on it, to be fair, but as I worked at Fensport, it could have been a lot more expensive than what it could have been. Do you know what I mean? I got cheap parts. I'd done the engine. Well, I didn't do it. My friend Dave and Tom and obviously Ryan helped as well. Engine rebuild, obviously the turbo conversion.
Engine rebuild. How many times?
4 maybe.
Fucking
4 engines.
Did you upgrade every time, or did you just keep fucking?
That's the problem. I just kept chucking in second-hand engines.
Fucking hell.
And they just kept. Yeah, I just kept giving it beans and kept breaking.
Your clutch was disgusting.
The clutch was
clutch.
It was horrible.
I know
everyone who got in it just stalled it straight away.
But I didn't.
So hard. No, you didn't. No.
Yeah,
no.
right.
I think that's because there was so much pressure. I kept saying, "Oh, you're going to stall it. You're going to stall it." I think you had so much pressure. You thought, "Right, I'm not going to fucking stall it."
To be fair to you, though, I'm not actually that bad at doing that. Like, I'm pretty good at jumping in cars and just driving them.
Yeah.
And so what happened was we was at Gravity, and the 86 was on stand, wasn't it? It was outside, and we had packed away. We was going, and I said, "Will you let me drive the 86 out?" And he was just like, "Yeah." And I was just like, "Oh my fucking god!" I was like, "This is going to be sick." So obviously, I'm sold on this whole this is your car. This is like your baby. You fucking love it. And I was just like, sick. This is going to be a lovely drive because this is a car that you love, right? Who wouldn't want a car that drives nice? So I jumped in the 86. You jumped in the van. You kind of, no, sorry, you hadn't by this point. I jumped in the 86, and everyone's like, and you were like, "You're going to stall it." And I was like, "Why?" He's like, "Oh, it's like race clutch, right?" You're going to
Serra metallic. No, it was horrible. It was horrible. I think it's a Helix clutch, but it was horrible to drive.
Yeah, and you were like, "You're going to stall it." I was like, "I won't." He's like, "You're going to stall it," and I'm thinking, like, "Why the fuck are you going to say?" He was like, "Oh, yeah, it's like a fucking race clutch." I was like, "Oh, joy!" Like, I've never touched one.
Yeah.
Like, so everyone's going, "Oh, like, take the piss." What did I do? Not stall it. I was like, "Yeah, fuck yous lot." To be fair though, on the way out, like, trying to keep that, because obviously it was just crawling traffic. Like,
when you're moving slow in traffic, it gives you leg ache.
Oh,
it
mate.
really does.
I was getting leg ache for like the 10 seconds I was driving it.
It's horrible.
And like I was driving past shit tons of people that were like taking photos of the cars. I was thinking, please don't fucking stall it. Because if I stall it, I'm not going to be able to get it started again.
And
I'll be like, turn it off, go again, stall it again. I'd be like, no.
And that's the thing. When you turned it off, when it was warmed up, and you turned it off and went to start it again, it wouldn't start for ages. It was just sitting there going.
Fuck's sake.
So that would have been embarrassing.
But you smashed it, mate. Because there were so many times, like when I remember when we were leaving that pub after Gravity. So we went to the pub after Gravity, got some food, didn't we, and a drink. We all parked up in the car park.
No, that wasn't Gravity.
Oh, was it not?
That was after. That was near the farm, wasn't it?
Was it?
It was near Matt's house. We was all. It must have been after. Broke Boys at the farm.
No, I don't think it was.
Because it was.
No,
you, me, Matt, Troy. Troy had the Luke. So it was all of us lot from the farm.
Oh, was it on the first?
Yeah, it was the pub near his farm. Yeah.
No, it wasn't the pub near his farm.
No, it was.
No, it wasn't. I know, mate. I've been to that pub enough to know that fucking pub. It wasn't that
Really?
pub. Yeah, I'm sure it was on the way back from Gravity. I really thought it was on the way back from Gravity.
Rich was it Rich with a Mini, the black Mini that had all the Broke Boys like Tetris pieces all over the side of it?
Yeah, I can't remember. But either way, we've gone to no, because I feel like we all ended up going in different directions because Matt went home, and why would he have left his house? It wasn't the pub near his. 100% it wasn't. It's not a pub near his because I've been to every fucking pub in the vicinity of that place. I could have
sworn it was.
Anyway, either way, you fucking bombed it out, didn't you? I got it on video.
Yeah, you have. Yeah.
That's sick, actually. Yeah. Oh no, it is Gravity, bruv. You can go on the Gravity fucking vlog and see that afterwards.
Really?
100%.
Okay.
The Gravity vlog starts with you absolutely kicking it out the fucking.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that you were good at that. I'll give you that.
It was the car, to be fair. The car, it was so easy to do.
Yeah.
You didn't need to clutch kick it. You didn't need to pull the handbrake. You just literally put your foot
full
down
power,
first or
take
second. It would just go sideways. It had like plastic tyres in it, pretty much. They were cheap as anything.
Yeah.
But they went on forever.
But yeah, you need to go. I don't think I ever fucking concluded what I was fucking saying earlier on, but you need to go check it out because the engine bay was like full chrome, wasn't it? Pretty much.
Yeah, everything was pretty much chrome. Yeah, it was like I say, I really miss that car. It was.
So it went to Ireland after.
Yeah, so dream car giveaways. Obviously they put it up for raffle.
Yeah.
A girl won it in Ireland.
Yeah.
She gave it to her boyfriend.
What an incredible girlfriend.
I know. He had it for a year or two.
Sold it.
Never really drove it. I think
because he mostly went, the clutch is shit.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I followed him on Instagram just to keep an eye on it. And he you know what they're like in Ireland with 86s or anything really. They give everything the beans.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of videos of him like drifting it in the car park and stuff. And then I think he dry stored it for about 9 months. And then he actually sold it to another raffle company in Ireland.
Yeah.
Who raffled it off, and someone in England won it.
Amazing.
Who is a guy? He messaged me now and again, asking a few questions about it and stuff. I think it's either Lincolnshire or Leicestershire. I can never remember. I think it might be Lincolnshire.
Would he send it back to you?
Probably not. No, probably not.
It's one of them cars, mate. I know for a fact. By the time you're 50, you'll have it again.
Mate, but the prices now. Honestly, I mean, I sold it.
Hang on, no, but you made 350 grand in 90 days the other day.
Let's not talk about that.
Did you get that back to normal?
I was so excited.
Hey, wait, just a bit of background. So the other day I get a photo sent through from Dan on WhatsApp and he goes, do you want to see how much I've made? I was just like, go on then, like, you fucking show off. Like, what's this? And he sends me a picture. His PayPal account, 350 grand. Honestly.
Was it the last 9 months or something?
Yeah, no, in the last 90 days.
90 days, that's it.
Yeah, so I was gassed as fuck for you. Like, I was like, what have you done? Like,
I
thought you had pulled in a big.
Yeah,
I thought you had pulled in a big contract. It was. I said to you, innit? It was literally that moment. You see Wolf of Wall Street, where he stands there and he's like, "No, honestly, tell me what the fuck you do." He's like,
didn't even text you back. You phoned me straight away.
Yeah, I was like, he's like, I will quit my job right now. Yeah, so I called him and I was like, "What the fuck?" And he was just like, "Yeah, let me show you what I've made in the last 7 days." And it was like 92 grand or something. And I was like, what the fuck is that? Why the fuck have you got so much money? Like, how has this happened? And he was just like, it's a glitch on fucking PayPal.
Yeah. I don't know what happened.
Did it fix?
I don't know. I've not checked it since. I generally believe they've just put a decimal place in the wrong place. Yeah. Like it's. Well, when I first logged in,
it was like that. But then
it said like, if a customer had paid. I logged in. It said last 90 days 300 grand. I was like, what? I was like, who's paid me? What for?
Yeah.
I was like, is it the wrong account? I was just going to withdraw the money, close the account, and run. But it turns out it's all false. I don't know what's.
Did you call him or anything?
No.
Oh, you're that guy though. You're just like, I don't get it.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. So where was we? How did we get onto that? Because I just fucking said.
We talked about The Corolla. Oh yeah, so the Corolla. So I bought it for about $7,000 ish.
Yeah.
Sold it to Dream Car giveaways for 20, or just shy of 20 grand.
Yeah.
So that shows how much they've gone up in value in that 5 years that I owned it.
Oh yeah,
obviously I put money into it as well.
By the time you're fucking 50, it'll
but
be a car
at the moment, because Ryan's doing his up to sell for the same reason, to buy a house. So at the moment he's doing his up. But the ones that are going up for sale at the moment, like I say, for shit ones, you're looking 20 grand now.
Would you buy Ryan's?
I wouldn't buy Ryan's now because that money's there for a house which I still haven't fucking bought. But
no, but to be fair, there is an explanation for that because you started your own business. I've got the itchiest back in the world.
Yeah. But there's a Corolla A86 called the Black Limited Edition.
Yeah.
Which is, there's only a limited run of them. I can't remember how many, but they were black. They had gold stickers on them. It says limited edition.
I think
I've
seen them.
Yeah, they go for a lot of money. And there's one that's just gone up for auction in Japan, which is coming over to, I think someone bought it in England or probably Ireland.
Amazing, yeah.
And it's hit the what's the word I'm trying to think of?
Threshold? I don't know.
Maybe threshold.
It's
basically the most expensive A86 ever sold at auction before in Japan.
Okay.
So it's kind of hit
the maximum.
Yeah. And it was something like 60-something thousand pounds.
I thought you were going to tell me you were thinking of buying it or something.
No. But that just shows how much. I know that's a black limited edition, but still that shows how much they're going up for. And when me and Dave were in Japan, when we drove over there, we went to can't remember what it's bloody called now, but it's a well-known A86 specialist in Japan who sells the cars. Yeah. And you go there and they had loads of black and white A86s all lined up, and the cheapest one there, calculate when you convert it back into pounds, was about 30 grand. The cheapest one that they were selling on the day was 30 grand.
This is the thing though, isn't it? Like obviously don't get it wrong, different ball game, different thing. Yeah. But with my Mini, I bought that in a working condition, drivable working condition, for $1,500. Got on eBay now, mate. The ones that are like fucked are like $3,000. So the minute they're in a working condition, they're. I don't get you wrong, they don't collect loads, but because there's so many of them. But you get a really good working condition one. I don't know. You could buy a good one for like $4, $5, or $6,000, depending on like
what year are they?
The Minis.
Yeah.
Fuck, mate. I go into the 60s.
Oh shit.
Mine's 89.
See, I think that is a car that the longer you have it, I know they're not going up in great value at the moment, but the less of them that they become. Yeah. And let's face it, they're going to start getting scrapped soon. I mean, they're getting scrapped at the moment because a lot of them are that rusty and that far gone that people can't bother to scrap them. Yeah. The more of that happens, obviously, the more value they go up.
That's the thing,
I think
that's
something that if you kept for another 15, 20 years, if you could, then that is going to be worth something.
It's
maybe not in the state it is now.
Excuse me, it's all original. It's not at all. I've cut it to pieces and everything. I'm just not that guy though. I'm not the kind of guy, like when I watch some auction program. I can't remember what it's probably called. It's up north in Scotland somewhere. No, it's not. I don't fucking know. It's up north. I know that. And they auction off cars and they get like. It's really odd. Like you can get, obviously, it's just not really my realm, but they'll do like barn finds that collect shit tons of money because even though they're fucked and they've got like fucking trees growing through them,
they're original,
completely original. Yeah. But then you're like, right, hang on a second, you're going to take it, you're going to have to redo the entire body, you have to swap out all the parts. Yeah, it's just one of the most stupid logics I've ever come across. Yeah. It really is. Resprayed the lot, so it's different paint. Different body parts, different engine because the old one's seized and doesn't work anymore. Like everything's swapped out, but they sell for fuck tons. But then you also get the pristine ones that are again restored to original, and they collect good money too. But I'll never do that, mate. I'll make that Asbo because I just want to.
Well, that's how kind of Broke Boy started, isn't it? Through that Mini, it was the Broke Boy's nature, and that's what it would come about. So,
explain to us the situation with the journey that you took to Japan when you drove.
Yeah, so that was the highlight of my life, I'm going to say.
Really?
It was the best thing I've ever done.
Yeah, it did look sick, man.
It was such an experience. So, we could be here fucking hours talking about it. But,
all right, so briefly explain to me how it came about, like the charity thing.
Yeah, so long story short, I was scrolling through Facebook one day, and there's a company called the Motor Visions Direct, I think they're called. Or is it Motor Visions? I can't remember what it was called. Motor Vision Awards, maybe. It's a company, like a sister company run by a Performance Direct insurance company, and they put a post up saying It was a big competition, basically. So you had to enter with your motoring dream. So that motoring dream could be a road trip. It could be a classic car restoration. It could be you want to host your own car show. Whatever your motoring dream is, could be anything, right? So you enter with your motoring dream. Yeah. They then narrow down to however many. And
like
then
the coolest ideas.
Yeah, like the coolest ideas. And you go through to the next stage, which was a bit more in-depth about it. And you go through different stages. And then basically the winner would have got their trip or whatever funded or partially funded. So before that, me and Dave, so Dave Brooks, good friend of mine, probably one of the first people I met when I moved from Essex to Cambridgeshire. I worked for him at various other jobs. He was the head mechanic at Fensport, good friend of mine. We've always spoke about driving to Japan. So previous to this, let me go back a little bit. Previous to this, we've been to Japan once before. When probably a year after I started at Fensport, Dave was already there for a few years before me. Adrian, our boss, took me and Dave to Japan, kind of business trip, all expensive paid for. And that was the first time we'd been, and we absolutely loved it. We was there for just over a week, I believe. Yeah. Went to the Tokyo Auto Salon car show that we went to. Yeah. And it was just, it was our first time in Japan, and we absolutely loved it. So since then, me and Dave has always said, right, we want to go back. Wouldn't it be cool to drive there, like, as a laugh? And we kind of roughly worked it out. Oh, we could go this way, we could go around here, and we could visit this on the way there, and it'd just be wicked. And then we thought, logistically, financially, it just wasn't doable. It was just too far out there, too expensive. The visas and stuff, like, it's not doable. But we always had this dream about doing it. So when I see this Motorvision thing on Facebook, I instantly thought mine and Dave's trip to Japan. So I just entered. I don't think Dave even knew I'd entered him at this time.
That's fucking joke.
I just entered saying, right, me and Dave have got this trip. Like, this is what we want to do. I had to kind of roughly work out the route, very roughly, just to show that, we've thought about it and it's not just a dream. So we entered, and then we got.
You had to get votes, didn't you?
So that was at a later stage. So the first stage, they must have got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of applicants. Yeah. Narrowed it down, and we got through to the next round. However many applicants it was, I'm not sure. But get through different rounds. So the next round, we had to fill out a huge form about the trip, more in depth, about me, about Dave, about everything basically, where we work, really in depth. It was like a 10-page kind of essay. We had to fiddle that out and send it off. I still didn't hold much hope at this time. Anyway, after that, we got put through to the next round, and next round. Anyway, the second to last round, I guess it was the public vote round. So there was us and roughly about 10 others. Yeah. And it was a public vote. So they put all of our stories up on a website, on Facebook, on social media, and the public had to then vote. Yeah. So we had to share the shit out of it. You were
lucky, bro.
Well, we were lucky because I can't remember the full story, but I sent an email back to Motorvisions, but I sent it to the wrong email address, or they put the wrong email address at the bottom of the applicant's bottom of the form. Yeah. I was supposed to send it to a different email address. Anyway, when the top 10 came out and we didn't make it, we was like, we was a bit like kind of upset that we didn't make it, kind of thing. And then I worked out. I was talking to the Motorvisions guy, and he was like, "Oh, you said you didn't get your form in time." I was like, "I did. I sent it on this date." And he goes, "No, we've not received it." So I checked the email address, and he was like, "Oh, it's the wrong email address." I was like, "Well, that's the one on the bottom of your form." He was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." I goes, "The other people must have just replied to the email rather than putting it to the one at the bottom of the form." Yeah. He goes, "I'm really sorry." He goes, "It might be too late to get you in now," because the competition was like for a week or whatever, and it'd already been going for 3 or 4 days. So he says, "It might be too late to get you in now." He goes, "Let me speak to the team." He come back the next day. He goes, "Look, the best thing we can do is get you in now. We can add you to the list." But he says, "You've only got like 2-3 days to get the votes in." Yeah. We was like, "Whatever, like, we can do it." Because I knew that. Yeah.
You had a decent following.
Yeah, without blowing my own trumpet, I had a decent following. Working where I worked at Fensport,
I
had
contacts. Shared it as well.
I think Broke Boy shared it. I had contacts in Toyo tyres, tyre and suspension. I've all the big contacts because I was like sales leader at Fensport, so I had all these big contacts as well. So they all shared it through their like Super Pro and Bushes and all stuff like that. They all shared it through their pages. Yeah. And because it was all part of Fensport, it was like getting Fensport to Japan in a Yaris kind of thing. Yeah. Everyone just got on board with it, and because I put a massive post up saying, "Look, we've been entered into the competition late. Let's see what we can do." And we was at Mod Nats, actually. The day I posted it, I was at Mod Nats.
Oh, really? And was that when I saw you?
I don't know if it was when I saw you. It might have been. Was it that year? I can't remember.
It must have been.
But I was at Mod Nats and I was sat at the campsite just typing away, putting a post up on my Facebook.
Yeah.
Didn't have great internet signal. And then when I got home that weekend, that's when it just absolutely blew up.
Yeah.
Hundreds of pages just shared it. And we'd gone from obviously bottom to top instantly, pretty much, and it was crazy. And then,
wasn't you competing with another person for a little bit, and then you overtook them?
Yeah, we was competing with one of the other ones was an old guy I wanted to convert like a Triumph into an electric car or something.
You destroyed an old man.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I feel really bad. And then another one was sorry, I just burped. I don't know if you heard that.
No, it's all right.
It just came out. And then
fucking great.
Another, I think a lady wanted to take her 2 kids to the Lego headquarters in Denmark, but she wanted to take them in this Mini Cooper, which they were going to wrap in Lego, like so it looked like a Lego car kind of thing.
Killed an old man's dream and two
kids. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, we came top. So then that put us through. That didn't mean we won, but that put us through to the final round, which was like a Dragon's Den style interview in front of 4 or 5 judges.
Yeah.
With, I think it was us and 4 others or whatever, and we all had to basically go in front of them, a big
Fucking
presentation.
hell.
It was a big thing, big presentation. So we went down to Essex, where they held it. Done this massive presentation. We basically had a big whiteboard with the map all printed out. Yeah. So like, this is what we're doing. These are the countries we're going to. This is the car. This is how much it's going to cost. We're going to get sponsorship from these companies.
Oh, you smashed that on sponsorship. Yeah, that's when you most really won.
Yeah, exactly. And then me and Dave, we was actually on the way. We'd done a road trip to Amsterdam just for a weekend. We was on the way to Amsterdam, and we got a phone call and said we won. And we couldn't fucking believe it.
Yeah,
so it was like, shit, it's actually happening. So they funded about 10 grand's worth of the trip.
Yeah.
Just 10 grand cash. And then the rest of it, we got sponsors through the likes of Fensport, where we worked. Toyota Tires gave us 4 or 6 new tyres. Weller Wheels gave us a set of wheels. Stephen Eagle Toyota dealership, which is our local Toyota dealership, gave us 1,200 quid to go buy the Yaris.
No way.
There was not go outdoors.
What do you do? Pocket the 10 grand?
Yeah. PJ Outdoors, they were called. Is I think they were based in Essex.
Camping stuff, innit?
They gave us all the camping equipment, the tents, the sleeping
bags.
That?
Mate.
Oh, we went to a show at the NEC. Camping and caravan show or something, just to drum up some interest and get some sponsors.
I love how ballsy you are.
I spoke to the manager and he was like, yeah, sick, you could just come down next week, come visit us, take what you want. And we just had so many, we had 2, like HKS Europe sponsored us, like all the bits we needed for the Yaris. We had everything covered.
I've tried to offer you a job before. Pisses me off.
And then we decided we was going to do it for children in need as well. So we were going to raise money for children in need.
You had Pudsey somewhere.
Yeah, so we had a little Pudsey in the car, which we took to, obviously, around the world. So, I spoke more about how the trip come about and not the trip itself. But
no, that's fine, because that's a sick story, right? Okay, so summarise I know this is a big one. Yeah. Summarise the trip. So you then literally, you buy the Yaris, you external cage the fucking Yaris.
Yes, we put an external roll cage on it. We done so much to it. So Tyne built us some custom suspension, so it raised the car up. We put wide arches on it, steel wheels, because obviously steel wheels, if you hit a pothole, you can just smash them back out with a hammer. And we Corbo seats, made us 2 custom bucket seats with our names embroidered in the headrest with our logo and stuff.
You still got them?
Still got the car.
Fuck's
as it is.
Sake, that's so sick.
And then we got another company called Slingshot 6 provided us with basically a built-in Wi-Fi box. Sick. So we had Wi-Fi in every country we was in pretty much. There's so many sponsors, but basically we set off from Fensport in August, in summer. Was it August? Can't remember. Beginning of August, and then we got to Japan in October. I think we went through 22 countries over 9 weeks, and it was just a surreal experience because we was going through countries that I never even heard of before we started planning, like Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan. Obviously, I heard of Kazakhstan. But we went through all the Stan countries, Russia, went around China, South Korea. Obviously, all of Europe, Turkey. So there was so many countries. Couple of ferries in between.
Weren't those the minute you get to like touching Asia and like Eastern Europe, aren't they like everyone well nice or something? You said.
Yeah. So
All the little countries?
Basically, the whole of Asia. So you know how people are in Japan. They're just so friendly. Just the hospitality is 110%. They'll do anything to help you. As soon as we hit Asia, so we crossed from... I can't remember the country now.
Like that crosses you into Asia from Europe.
Azerbaijan.
I wouldn't know, mate.
Yeah. We crossed from there to Kazakhstan across the Caspian Sea. As soon as we got off the boat into Kazakhstan, instantly the people were just amazing. Kazakhstan, all the Stan countries.
Did you get loads of attention because of the car?
Yeah, the car got a lot of attention. And
you drove through some countries, mate. That there's drone footage of you going through. There's a video of this, right? So
there's a few videos. Yeah.
You drove through some countries that are like fucking hardly had roads, let alone a car.
Yeah,
like,
so
do you know what I mean?
Tajikistan, Kazakhstan. Tajikistan, there's a road called the Pamir Highway, which is one of the world's dangerous roads, most dangerous roads. And we drove on that for a good 4 or 5 days.
Dangerous because of
the sheer drop.
Okay,
yeah, the sheer drop of the. Yeah, I mean, and you've got like.
On shows like you
if you think Top Gear, you think Top Gear when you've got buses coming the other way and there's not enough room for 2 cars and you've got reverse and not fall off the cliff and you're literally touching the cliff edge while the bus comes past you and it was some scary shit at times, but the Yaris done fucking brilliant. Like, it got us there. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, the countries like Tajikistan, people were like waving at the side of the road. You pull over, they'd give you fresh fruit and stuff from their farm, and then they'd offer you in for a cup of tea. And then the next person would give you a bed to sleep for the night. They'll make you dinner.
You actually stayed?
Yeah, we slept on people's like couches. And then I remember one in Kazakhstan was actually at a petrol station. We had an app called the Overlander app. And it tells you wild camp spots throughout the whole world, basically. So if you find a wild camp spot, you put it on the app so other people know about it. We was in the middle of Kazakhstan. It was getting quite late. It was dark. And we couldn't find this spot that we'd found on the app. It just didn't exist. Yeah. Went to a petrol station to try and find, but not every petrol station had any petrol, which is weird. You had to basically, it was lucky if you found a petrol station with petrol, but we managed to find one.
Did you have extra petrol?
Yeah, we had 2 big jerry cans on the roof. Yeah. So when we could fill them up, we did. We was at the petrol station, and there was a guy there, and he had a battered out Subaru Impreza in Kazakhstan, but it was battered, right? And I kind of tried to speak to him and do the whole sleeping on you like that. We was trying to find somewhere to sleep, and he was like, follow. So he jumped in Subaru. We followed him 5 minutes around the corner, got to his mum and dad's house. And we parked in, and his dad helped us fix the puncture. This is like 11 o'clock at night or something. His dad was out there fixing the puncture for us. We went inside. His mum was just saying, like, was cooking dinner for us. Set out the table. The whole family sat round. We was all having like a midnight feast. And then they started setting out the bed. At this point, we didn't know if we were staying there or not. They didn't speak a word of English. We didn't know if we were staying there or not. At this point, she finished dinner. She cleaned up. She started getting all the sofas out, putting duvets down and stuff. It's like, that's where you're sleeping. And it was like, fucking brilliant. So we woke up, we had breakfast, and then
did you give money or anything like
that? They don't take money. They don't take money. I think we gave.
There are countries like that. It's like insulting to fucking give them money.
Yeah. I mean, we took a lot of. Before we set out, we was told, Russian police especially, they're criminal basically. So you need to bribe them, otherwise you're going to get hefty fines for no apparent reason. So we was always told to take vodka. I don't smoke, but is it Marlboro fags?
Yeah, Marlboro.
Marlboro's
the fucking red and white livery.
Yeah, I think it was it. Yeah, Marlboro and English chocolate, so like Cadbury's or something. So we went to Lidl's before we went and got like the cheapest vodka ever, and all of that, and we stashed it all in the back of the car. And then every time we got to like a border crossing or something, and it did happen a lot of the time, we get to the border crossing, they wouldn't let us in. They'd search the car high and low, and if they find sweets or find chocolate or find fags, they would just take it off you. Like they don't ask for it. You can't complain because you need to get through that border. But if they don't let you through for any reason, then you start offering them fags and stuff. They become really friendly for you, and they'll let you through. It happened in Kazakhstan. We got pulled over by Kazakhstan cops, and they told us we were speeding. I was like, no, it wasn't. We knew we definitely weren't speeding. So Dave got out, got in the car, asked to see the footage. They wouldn't show him the footage. Asked to see the speed gun. No, I can't see the speed gun. We weren't speeding. They was like, oh, it's a $400 because they use US dollars as well. $400. So we was like, we haven't got $400, and we didn't. And it was like 400. As long as you're polite and you keep saying, I haven't got $400, I haven't got $400. They're like, oh, 300, 200, and they keep knocking it down. In the end, it got down to like $20 and a couple of fags, and that's it. We was on our way. So it was stuff like that that really helped you out. But going back to what I was getting at, people that don't accept money for letting you stay in the houses or dinner and stuff, you just give them some chocolate or whatever, and they're over the moon with it.
Mad.
So yeah, we've pretty much done that all the way to Japan. Did you keep in contact with
any of these people?
There's a guy called Alpal in Turkey who I've got on Facebook. He let us stay at his parents' house.
Amazing.
They
just fob you off to their parents' house.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've got something for you to say.
There's a guy called Sergey. So when we got to Vladivostok, which is in Russia, which is where we got the ferry from Russia to Korea to Japan, we got to Vladivostok a week early, and we met a guy called Sergey at a coffee shop, and we ended up just basically Sergey was our tour for the week in Vladivostok. So Sergey we still speak to, and obviously when we got to Japan, the second day we got there at a car show, we met Ko, who's now a really good friend of mine.
And you just literally bumped into him at that car show?
Yeah, Ko let us stay at his house for a week while I was in Japan.
What a lad!
And then obviously
he just turned around and was like,
yeah, every year I've been back to Japan, I've stayed, well, not stayed with Ko, I've stayed in a hotel, but Ko's been like my personal tour guide.
He was our tour guide.
Yeah, exactly. Ko came over to England a couple of years ago. You see him, didn't you, when he's in England?
No. I've seen the photos of you.
Okay,
I didn't know.
Okay.
I didn't know him then.
No.
I didn't met him.
Oh, no, of course not, no. So he came over to England for the first time, and obviously me and Dave showed him around, and Ryan as well. So yeah, become really good friends with Ko, and obviously I speak to him pretty much every other day.
Yeah, mate, I talk to him.
Yeah, it's
good lad, quite a lot. Yeah,
he's a handy man to know.
Literally, yeah, he is, isn't he? Literally, I missed him the other day and asked him a question. You just like, I have no clue, bro. I was like, fuck's sake. I was like, I'll send you fucking chocolate.
Yeah, honestly, he's a good lad.
He sent me over. Did I tell you? What did he send me? Oh, my dad's headlights. Did I tell you that?
Oh yeah, for the 350.
Yeah, so when we went to Japan, I was looking on the search for. My dad's got 350Z, and he was on the search for headlights because a lot of the headlights that you get here are really expensive for 350Zs, or they're pointing the wrong way. And when we went to Japan, he was like, look for headlights for me so you can get them cheaper, and they were a lot cheaper. And Ko messaged me like end of last year, and he was just like, oh, by the way, forgot, but here's some headlights that I found. The fact that he was still looking as well, I was just like, oh, you fucking G, like I forgot about this. So he was like, yeah, okay, like, do you want them? I was like, yeah, cool. My dad said, yeah, transferred him the money. I PayPal'd him for you, didn't I?
Oh, I think you did.
Yeah, and then he sent the headlights over. It took a couple of weeks because we paid for like the shittest postage. And by the time they got here, I opened the box up, bruv. He had filled the lights box with so much shit, so many sweets, the weirdest stuff, man. Like,
they have some weird stuff out there,
like,
don't they?
I'm going to be honest, like, don't get me wrong, like, this is not insulting whatsoever because they just eat different to us.
Yeah.
Some of the shit, like, I put it in my mouth and I was just like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. Like, it just looks so strange, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you took the journey to Japan, and then just to fast forward, you ended up. You came back on a flight and contained.
Oh yeah. So we flew back, and then the again it was all sponsored. The containers all paid for, but we had a 20-foot container. Considering the Yaris is only 8 to 10 foot, we had a massive container, all paid for, so the Yaris could come back. So while me and Dave was out there, we thought we might as well make the most of this container. So we went to every up garage in and around Tokyo and bought random fucking shit. Like I bought an R35 GTR front bumper for like 40 quid, sold it for 400 quid over it. We just filled the container with shit. Everything sold.
Imagine if, obviously, don't get you wrong, I'm sure it'll level out, but after all this Brexit.
It is Brexit.
Brexit shit, that's what I was going to say. Fucking getting containers, just going over there for a week and just you need a car, man, because obviously otherwise you rely so much on Ko.
Definitely.
Get a car, go around, or a van, small minivan, go around there, one of their K vans. Go around and look at everything and just buy loads of shit.
The up garages are so fascinating, and there's
the
new
wheels,
stock
mate,
like every other day as well.
The wheels, I reckon you could make a lot of money out of the wheels. It's just heavy. But then again, the containers aren't done on weight, are they?
No, I don't think so. It's just how much you can fit in there.
Yeah, so let's explain how we came about our trip then. So you messaged me and was like, "Do you want to?" I swear you messaged me and was like, "Do you want to come to Japan?"
Yeah, I did. Just like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Something like
That's
that.
the kind of guy I am.
Come Japan with
Just
me.
out of the blue. Just come to Japan.
Yeah, it was like, come Japan with me, and I was just like, oh, bruv, like, I don't really have the money. Like, it's an expensive trip.
Yeah.
Well, it's not too expensive, but it is in a sense. It's more expensive than a normal cheap holiday to Spain.
Yeah, to Spain.
Yeah,
definitely.
So, you said that to me, and I was just like, okay, cool. Like, I'll think about it. And as well, I get a bit of anxiety, don't I? So I was thinking to myself, oh, fucking hell, like, this isn't
quite
like,
far away from home.
This isn't like I'm 3 hours down the road on a plane that I can just be like, Mum, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, that sounds really childish.
It's
I'm not like
homesick,
that.
isn't it?
I'm not like that. I don't get homesick. For me, mate, it's like I just sometimes there's like moments where I'm just like, boys, I gotta go home.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta go back to wherever I stand because I just don't feel.
Or when
good.
you're in such a foreign country.
So there was a couple of moments. I will be honest. There was a moment where I was sitting in I will explain it in a minute, but that fucking maid cafe.
Oh yeah,
I was struggling in there, bro. and it's funny now, and it was funny then.
Looking back at it, it's fucking hilarious.
but it's not because it was the maid cafe that was making me feel funny. It was like that was the moment where I was like, whoa, like I am far from home. Like, and it is. So we explained. So you hit me up and was like, do you want to come to Japan? Long story short, fast forward, I ended up going.
Yeah, 4 of us went.
There was me, Ryan, Matt, who owns the farm, which is where Broke Boys at the Farm takes place, and you. And let's be honest. So we booked you booked the hotel. Like, you're like, yeah, okay, we've got it covered. Like, this is where we're going.
Yeah.
Let's explain the journey, right? So I met Matt. You two are fucking stupid, you and Ryan. Like, you are just so stupid. Like, they pissed me off before the holiday even began. I said to him, book a Premier Inn the night before.
We were still there before you.
What, at the airport? Yeah. Congratulations. Sorry, our bus turned up late. Anyway, right, so they live further away from the airport than I do. Matt lives a fair few hours away, so he's about... It was Heathrow, isn't it? So Matt's about 2 hours away from Heathrow. I'm about 45 minutes to an hour away from Heathrow. So we turn up the night before and we book a Premier Inn. I said to you and Ryan, book a Premier Inn. You debated it for ages. Then literally like 2 days before, you're like, no, we're not going to do it. We're going to travel. I said, hang on a second. And there'll be logic to this in a sec when this all... It'll make sense in a second. So I said, so you're going to travel the morning before. So our flight was at 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock.
Something like that, yeah.
10 o'clock in the morning, let's just say, or 11 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, so you need to be there 2 hours before, so that's 8 o'clock. So then you've got 2 hour journey.
It's 3 hours before because it's a long haul flight.
Okay,
you've got to be there 3 hours before.
So I think it was 11, mate, if I'm honest. So it's 11. So 10, 9. So you've got to be there at 8. Then it's a 2 hour journey. Yeah, and I said, but and Heathrow traffic was bad. Yeah. Like. Around that time, so I was like, you got to leave like 3 hours before, so now we're at 5. I was like, so you're going to be getting up at like 4. Like, what's the fucking point? Book a Premier Inn. They were cheap as fuck. I was like, book a Premier Inn literally down the road. You can come the night before. No, we're not going to do that. This will be easier. I was like, right, hang on a second. So let's just explain. So 11 o'clock, we get on our plane. It's an hour journey from here to Germany because we had a stopover.
It was Germany, was it?
Yeah, we went to Germany.
Can't remember.
Yeah. So we went to Germany first. We went to Frankfurt the first time and Cologne. Is it Cologne?
Cologne is Germany, yeah.
Yeah, on the way back.
Was it Germany both times? Who did we fly with? Lufthansa.
Lufthansa. And I got that question right at the chase the other day. It was like, name a German airline. Name some German airline or the main German airline.
I thought it was Munich.
And I was like, it's Lufthansa. I
thought it was Munich we went to.
No. Germany, both times.
I can't remember. Every time I've been to Japan, I've flown with a different airline.
Stop somewhere different.
Yeah, so first time was like a French airline, so we went to Paris. Next time was a Russian airline, so we went to Moscow, and I've just been fucking everywhere.
So Germany takes an hour. So 11 till 12 to Germany. Then an hour layover in Germany, so 12 till 1. And then you have 15 hours worth of flight, right? So that's 15 hours worth of sitting down. Yeah. So that's, what? Fucking hell. 1 till 1, so it's 3 a.m. So by the time you're landing... In your mind, it's 3 a.m. You've been up all day travelling.
Plus, what is it, 10 hours difference? Something like that?
We landed at 10 a.m. the next day in Japan, right? So in our minds, it's 3 a.m. and we are technically well into a sleep. Or we've been in bed for 2 hours, 3 hours. So, but we haven't. We're on this plane. We get off the plane, it's 10 a.m. That means we've got an entire day ahead of us. So I thought to myself... This is fine. I worked out that I would have been awake for 36 hours by the time I went to bed that evening if I didn't sleep before. Yeah. So I thought to myself, I'm going to be fucked, right?
Yeah.
My normal day's 12. Not one, it's not really, is it's about 12 to 18 hours worth of a day or something like that. So my normal day is about that time of what I'm awake. I've technically been awake for nearly fucking 2.5 days. So I'm sweet. By the time I get there, by the time it's the evening, I'll be fucking knackered and I'll fall asleep.
Yeah.
You two, no, I think it was like you was awake for 48 hours, no sleep. So I go to bed that night. I can't sleep for fuck because I'm overtired. Yeah. We've got, bearing in mind, like, this is really rude of me. Like, Matt's a big guy. Like, he's like 6 foot. Like, he's a well-built guy. I fucking walked into this tiny Japanese fucking hotel.
Oh, they are tiny as well.
Yeah, the cunt fucking snores like shit. I thought to myself, nah, this is taking the piss. So I fucking got in bed. I'm like, he didn't really sleep. He had slept on the flight. Everyone slept on the flight but me. I literally was the only one that didn't fucking sleep at all. So I'm like, right, I'm going to be knackered. Couldn't sleep. Woke up the next morning at like 6 a.m. I was like, what is going on? I've had like 4 hours sleep. It was 36 hours.
I felt like shit. Well, I was up for 40 odd hours. I kept going because I knew from previous experience, if you get there and have a nap, then wake up, then you can't go to sleep at night time. It just fucks you up for days. Well, like, because you just need to soldier on through the first day.
I woke up the next morning and went into like yours and Ryan's room and was like, oh, you're all right? Like, you go to sleep? He was like, no, we haven't been asleep. I was like, you are taking the piss. I said, so you woke up at 4 a.m. You did fucking 15, 16, 17 hours worth of travelling. You had about 4 hours worth prior to that.
And it wasn't even a relaxing day the first day there either. What did we do the first day we got there? We obviously met Co. Co picked us up at the airport, introduced you to Co. We then went
straight to that...
I think we went to the hotel first, drop off all the bags, didn't we?
Yeah. We went straight out. We went to...
I know at night time...
It was the car museum the first day. Or not the car museum place. The... What is it? Yeah, the first day we went to... Did we stop off at a supermarket? Someone's at my fucking door. No, that's up the top. Ignore it. No, ignore it. Sorry, someone's at my door. We went to... What's that other garage place that's like... Oh my God.
The Toyota place, Mega Web.
No. It's like an up garage. It wasn't the up garage. It was an upstairs. There was wheels.
Autobacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. It was a big Autobacks, wasn't it? So Autobacks is like a Halfords, but better. Yeah. They sell stuff like HKS. They do bucket seats and wheels and everything, exhaust systems. So we went to Autobacks, didn't we?
Yeah.
Went there first. Probably went out for food.
Yes, we did. No. Right, so this is what happened. We got there. He said, are you hungry? He said, we're fucking starving. And we went straight to that beef katsu place. Remember? On top of the shop, on top of the 7-Eleven. And we sat in that and we cooked our own little bits of beef.
Oh, yes.
So we cooked that, and then we went to Autobacks, and then...
That was actually on the outskirts of Tokyo, I think.
Yeah, it was. It was. It wasn't that bad, because remember we ended up going to... We went into one of those places, saw them little dogs, and then come out, and we was randomly at that 7-Eleven. And we was like, this is where we was the first day.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Right, so we done
that. And then night time we went to the RWB meet.
Yeah,
which happens. It's a yearly thing.
Mate.
Yeah, so it's I think we all were. We were knackered, but it was the RWB meet,
yearly,
which happens every year.
Yeah. A couple of nights before
Auto Salon. Yeah. So
that
happened.
Night before, wasn't it?
That's it. Yeah, something like that. So is that? Did you meet Mac there? Co's best mate, Mac. Yeah. So
what
Mac,
a lad.
Mac. He didn't have a
Porsche,
Porsche,
Mac
did he?
as well. No.
Okay, so when I first met Mac, Mac's one of Co's best friends. He had a Porsche. I don't really know my Porsches.
I said this the other day in the same conversation in the podcast with Zach.
Yeah.
I said something about a Porsche, and I went, "It's a Porsche." Don't know Porsche.
Yeah, so I don't really know.
I'll tell you why, because they all look the fucking same.
Yeah, it's a baby blue RWB body kit. It was top dog. It was fucking nuts. He had that.
Did you ever go in it?
Yeah, I went in that. At the last RWB, I think it was a year before, maybe a year before that, I can't remember, but he took me to that in the Porsche.
Mad.
He also had an NSX, which he took me out in, and we went like 160 miles an hour down the fucking Tokyo motorway. It was crazy, but he sold all of that. I think he's got a GTR now, R35. Back then he didn't have the Porsche, but honestly, if you had seen a Porsche, it was brilliant. It was indoors at Auto Salon a few years ago.
I don't want to fucking insult him. Was it actually an RWB?
Yeah, it was.
I'm
sure it was. I'm sure it was.
Was it? I don't know if it was actually an official RWB. I'm not sure. He just had one of their...
I know he's quite in with RWB himself.
Not being...
But yeah, we done that at night time, didn't we? There's some sick cars there, but we were fucking knackered.
That was sick, mate.
And then
so we got there. Co ended up just chilling because
it was raining. Was it raining when it's freezing? Because it's January. It's always freezing in Japan in January.
No, because to be fair, we had some good weather. Remember, we had some good weather where we just went out wearing like jackets and hoodies, and then like on the last 3 days, it was freezing. Yeah. It was like how it feels now, like minus 2 or 3.
It can get very cold out there.
No, let's talk about this real quick. So, obviously, this is January 2019. Oh, no, 2020. Sorry, January 2020. And coronavirus isn't a thing. Hadn't even heard of it.
But we hadn't heard of it.
We hadn't heard of it yet. Anyway,
no one had heard of it.
So, that evening, Co said something like, I've got a headache. So we was like, all right, mate, like, cool, like, we won't hang around for too long. Like, you've brought us here, but we don't want to disturb you, sort of thing. And he was like, no, it's cool, enjoy yourself. So we looked around all the cars. This, I think, as well, those stories that I put up of Japan, the views that I was getting on those stories was insane because they were getting shared so much. Yeah. The amount of people, you can always tell when someone has a good when there's anything like a good reaction on Instagram or social, because, so for example, the old YouTube videos, we used to go to shows and I was constantly approached by people that are buying stuff on the stand going, oh, I saw your video like this and blah, blah, blah. And you knew that it had a good reaction, whereas you can post some stuff up and it never gets mentioned, right? Yeah. Those stories, when I was taking pictures of the RWBs on the first night and just the journey there and everything, bruv, I never looked, but they must have had such high views because the amount of people that messaged me, like, still to this day, was like, yeah, bro, like, I remember I watched your Japan stories. They were savage. Like, you made it look
It's somewhere
so
that
sick.
every car enthusiast wants to go.
Yeah.
It probably all stems from the Tokyo Drift film.
Yeah, of course. That did,
and it really is like that out there.
It is.
That isn't just over the top movie. That's what it's like.
That's
out
actually
there.
what it's
That's
like.
what the meets are.
I'll back that as well because I thought to myself it was going to be like a bit OTT because it's the thing. Like, I don't know. Like the original. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't in early 2000s car culture in America, but like, it was OT. It was like OTT. Like, do you know what I mean? Like moments, do you know what I mean? Like pulling up to like car meets down in factories or something and being like, oh, Dom's here. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, do you know what I mean? Like that sort of thing. Yeah. But then in Tokyo Drift, like there's not really that cheesiness, but there is like the big meets, a lot of people in an underground car park, and like that actually happens.
And the actual quality of the cars that turn up are through the roof. They're like our indoor show cars. They just turn up at car meets.
Yeah. Because there's not really that like prestigious thing over there, is there? It's just like people over here that have got like a mad insane car. Like, no, I don't take it out.
No,
like, do you know what I mean?
It gets trailered to
shows, or even if they drive it, it comes out 3 times a year for my indoor show, so it doesn't get rained on, and then all of a sudden like goes back inside and no one sees it again. Like, no, out there they actually fucking.
Well, out there again, they don't put salt on the roads, so you can. I mean, over here, there's so much salt on the roads that if you did take out a clean show car, it would get ruined. No doubt about it. So over there, the roads are so smooth as well. They're just everything's just perfect out there. So,
but let's
you can afford to take cars out like
that. Go back. So, Co's there. He's like, I've got a headache. He sits on the front. He's got this massive fucking front tow bar thing, winch thing on the front of his car, and he sits on that, and he just chilled there the whole time. And Mac was with him and was chilling with him. I was thinking to myself, bless him, like I think he's actually ill, like at the time, and I was just like, let's not hang around, boys, like for too long, because like I'm fucked anyway, and I don't think Co's alright.
Yeah.
So
we didn't stay there too long, did we?
No, we weren't there for long. And to be fair,
and it was raining.
It was raining. It was cold. Yeah. But it was an experience. And I saw the Rawelt geezer. What's his name? Nakai son. Yeah. Nakai.
I can never say it, but I'm not going to attempt it.
So he was there, and cool. And I was like, oh, this is fucking sick. Like, I'm in Japan. Like, this is insane. Yeah. Anyway, so Tokyo Auto Salon was 2 days. Well, it started the day after, didn't it? But when we went, like a day after that.
I think we went on a Saturday. It starts on a Friday. I think we went on a Saturday.
Anyway, and Co was meant to be working it because he works for Top Secret, and he was meant to be working and actually being on stand, wasn't he? Yeah. And he didn't turn up because he was ill. Yeah. So he was really ill. Like he said, when we saw him about 3 days later. No, it would have been longer now. Oh no, he was there for 10 days. It was like
it was a few days.
4 days later. Yeah.
We just done our own thing.
And he was like, "Oh, how you feeling, man?" He was like, "Honestly, I was really ill. Like I had like flu, like cough, like I was like
basically all the coronavirus symptoms.
Literally all the coronavirus symptoms,
which
like
was unheard of at the time.
Yeah, but we just thought he's got the flu.
Yeah.
And now when you look back at it, you're like, and he hasn't had it since. So you kind of look back at it and you think, fucking hell, like he was every Rona symptom.
Yeah, it was.
He had heavy.
And that was only January, so if you think it all came about in February, didn't it? So,
well, they had mentioned it in January. So they.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There was first mentions in January.
And Japan was, other than China, I think Japan was one of the first countries to get.
It's not too far away from China.
No, it's not.
In correlation, like world map wise.
No. So
anyway, so
basically,
we were in a car with a geezer with Corona
for 10 days.
The first couple of days.
Somehow we flew back to England, and then
insane. And he only had it for really like that period of time that Corona seems to hit people. Yeah, he had it for like 3-4 days solid, and then he was like, kind of better. Like, kind of feel better to go out.
Yeah.
Yes, we got there. We did that. Some of the experiences that we had. Tokyo Auto Salon, insane. It
is the best car show I've ever been to.
The only other one I want to go to compare it to is like SEMA.
Yeah. See, I've always wanted to go to SEMA, but at the same time, I don't. The more I think about it, the more I think it's not really my thing. Like, yeah, I'm into the big trucks and Mustangs and stuff like that. I'm into all that stuff, but I can imagine SEMA is very just solely based around that muscle cars. I know it still.
I think it's just a massive aspect of American culture. Isn't it?
But I am kind of Jap through and through. So the Jap scene is my scene. So I think the auto salon for me is the best. It's just the level of cars out there as well, and it's 6 halls. It's huge.
Bruv,
I think did we only do one day, Saturday?
We only did one day, and
so I usually do 2 days.
We walked, like I said, in it. This is when I explain it to people. This is how I explain it. We walked at a consistent pace throughout it was like 6 hours that we were there. Yeah. Like, bearing in mind, who the fuck has ever been to a car show and stayed that long?
Yeah.
So we were there and we walked consistently at a good pace, browsing as we went, like literally moving our head to make sure we saw every car. Yeah. And I still think we most probably missed a fair bit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I was fucking knackered.
Yeah. Yeah. Whereas if you go to a typical show over here in England, it's just or anywhere in Europe,
even in NEC or XL,
you'll get round the show at a fast pace. You'd get round the show in an hour.
Yeah. Or you would go and stop and look and stuff within like 4 hours. Like, you've done it.
We've done 6 hours of constant moving, looking at everything.
Yeah, and it wasn't like stop. We stopped a couple of times. Yeah, we looked at a couple of things, but like we didn't stop for long. It was like fucking.
It's a big old show.
Yeah,
it's huge, and you get. Well, I suppose it's similar to SEMA. You get companies from all over the world coming over.
Some of the most impressive stands were like the Toyota stand, because they debuted their
Yaris GR, which has just come out. Yeah.
So we saw that in the flesh before pretty much anyone. That was amazing. What else is there? Oh my god, we could get katsu curry later.
Oh, you could.
Should we just do it anyway? I always do that when I'm with you. I'm like, oh yeah, you remind me of Japan. Let's go do katsu. I was just thinking about that because I was thinking about the takeaway that we got outside. It was like, it's so funny. Like, over here, you go to a burger van. Yeah. There, you go to a katsu curry van. Noodle katsu curry van. I said though, right? So this is the one thing I'll say. If anyone ever is thinking of going to Japan, obviously once all this shit is over, 100% go. You have to.
Yeah.
But prepare yourself for heavy foreignness, right? That's not the correct term. But I'm going to say that because
it's so far apart from any other country you've been to. It's another world, isn't it?
You can't explain it because I said they're not only they don't only speak another language, and bearing in mind most countries that you'll go to throughout your entire life, the other country they'll have English speakers dotted around.
Yeah.
Japan just doesn't really have them.
No.
Like it does semi.
It's definitely getting better. Like, I've noticed from the first time I went to the last time I went, it's getting better.
It's such an ignorant thing, isn't it, to say?
I know it is. We should really be learning the Japanese language if we're going to their country. But I've noticed from the first year I went up until the last year I went, there are more English-speaking people, and they're getting more used to tourism.
But you can't, like, as an example, 99% of the places that you go to, they don't speak any English. You've got to learn what they're saying to get what you want. That you can't, and then this is obviously where it kind of really goes off. Like you can't read their signs. Like it's not letters jumbled up into new words. It's symbols that you've never seen. Yeah. They make no sense at all to you. And it's not only just so I'm going to another country. Yeah, their culture's different. They've got different language and they've got fucking different symbols for their lettering system. Blah blah blah. No. they fucking eat different.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just the food they eat, it's the utensils they use. It's like, oh yeah, I've used chopsticks before. No. when you go into every restaurant and you're trying to pick up the most insane shit with chopsticks, they make your food work around the chopsticks.
Yeah.
Because they're like, it's like they've got to accommodate for the English person to get the food to be large enough or small enough, or it's pre-cut up so that you can pick out the chopsticks and you can eat, and you think, oh, I can eat with chopsticks. No, you fucking can't. No. You cannot. Like, you're eating massive chunks of meat with chopsticks and like really random breaky up shit with chopsticks. Like, and they're munching on it, and their etiquette's different, how they do things are different, how they sit down's different, where they
everything.
fucking
sit. You've got
everything.
the way that they say hello to people, they bow, and you don't. Yeah. You can't smoke outdoors, but you can smoke indoors.
In only some places.
In some,
but you can't fucking read the sign. We don't smoke, but you can't read the sign to tell you that. Do you know what I mean?
This is a big benefit of meeting Co. Like,
massive. Yeah.
Co is just like a personal tour guide when I go over there now. He's lived there. Not all of his life. I mean, he's Japanese. He was born there, but he hasn't lived there all his life. He's lived in America and all over. But
Co's English is good.
He knows. He's such a good man to know.
Yeah, but that was an incredible find on your behalf.
It was, yeah. Well, Co found us.
Yeah,
madness. The day, going back to mine and Dave's road trip, the day after we landed in Japan so we got the ferry from Russia to South Korea to Japan. We got off in Japan. We drove to Fuji, stayed there the night, and then the next morning we went to Fuji Speedway, which is where Speed Hunters were hosting their first ever car show. It just happened to be the day that we got in Japan, or the day after. So previously to that, we spoke to Speed Hunters and said, look, this is our trip. We're planning on getting to you on this day, and we're going to... The car show is going to kind of act as our finish line, if you like. So they was well up for it. So when we got to that car show, I phoned or texted the guy, he's an English-speaking guy, saying that we're outside the gates. He's all right, don't come in yet. Let me give you the heads up. And basically got everyone together on the tannoy to welcome us in. So as we drove through the show, everyone was there clapping and welcoming us. It was like, this is so surreal. And it was such a sick car show. It was in the summer, so it was beautiful weather. It was in shorts and T-shirt. And we was parked up in the centre of the show. This little Yaris parked next to all like these NSXs, Ferraris, everything just slammed to the floor. It's proper decent show cars, and you got the little old Larry, we called him Larry the Yaris, parked in the middle, English plates on. No one could believe it. The car people just swarming around the car, and then we was on I don't know if it was TV or what. There's some film crew we was chatting to, and they was telling us about the trip and stuff. I was telling them, and that's when at the end of that show, we were then planning on driving from Fuji to Tokyo and trying to find somewhere in Tokyo to stay. Obviously, up until that day, the 9 weeks of travelling or 8 weeks of travelling, we was always staying at hostels or campsites and keeping costs down.
So you didn't have anywhere planned for you?
No. So when we got there, we thought, right, this is our week's holiday. This is our celebration. We're going to actually get a nice hotel for a week.
Yeah.
Sat at the end of the car show. We were probably one of the last cars there. I was sat on booking.com going through, you can imagine how many hotels there are in Tokyo. It's like London, but 10 times bigger. Yeah. Going through all the hotels, and they are so expensive. They are ridiculously expensive in Tokyo hotels.
And you get the tiniest rooms.
And we was trying to find somewhere nice, but not paying £1,000 for a week. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I couldn't find anywhere. I was really struggling. And by that time, we'd spent pretty much all of our money. Like, we were living on like rice and beans. we run out of money. And it happened. I think 3 or 4 guys came over to the car just to look at the bonnet, because on the bonnet we had a vinyl print of the map from UK to Japan. It had a little route of the route we took. So the guys come over and they was pointing at it, and they were speaking obviously Japanese. And I was trying to speak to them. They was trying to speak to us, but we couldn't really understand each other. So then they called over Co. Co then pulled up in his truck, got out, came over.
Yeah, we got to mention that. He's got a Chevy.
GMC. No,
it's GMC. Sorry, that's rude of me.
Is it Denali? I can't remember.
I don't know. I can't remember.
It's a huge thing. He got it imported from America.
Escalade.
That kind of size, isn't it?
And Chevy, they have a really similar build on them. But
GMC, Denali, or whatever it's called, but he got that imported from America. It's way too big for Japanese roads, but
it's massive.
It's wicked.
Yeah.
But
everyone looks it.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. So he pulled up. He came over. And these 3-4 guys at the car were his mates, and he's kind of translating. We're speaking to Ko. Ko's translating to them, and then Ko's like, "Oh, where you going now?" He's like, "Oh, Tokyo. That's kind of the ultimate finish line. We're staying in Tokyo for a week, and then the car gets shipped back, and we fly home." He's like, "Oh, you found somewhere to stay?" I said, "No." I said, "They're all too expensive." He goes, "Oh, I've got a guest house. So come stay with me for a week if you want." I was like, "Yeah, okay, if you don't mind, like, how much do you want?" And he's like, "Oh, nothing." It's kind of guy Ko is.
Fucking lad.
I was like, "All right, sweet." So he goes, "Right, we're just going." He goes, "Me and my mates all going to onsen, which is like the private or public hot baths."
Yeah.
But he goes, "I don't think you can come because you've got tattoos and they don't let anyone in with tattoos." I was like, "Okay, go." He goes, "Let me just check." So he phoned them and he goes, "No, they won't let you in." I was like, "That's fine." So we'll go to Tokyo. He says, "We'll go to the onsen. We'll give you a call when we're in Tokyo." So he called us, says, "Right, we're done now. Before we go to my house, do you want to meet here?" And it was the Daikoku parking lot, which is the big... I think we went there, didn't we? You know the car park where the road kind of goes around it?
I want to talk about that.
Yeah, well,
so
that's where we met him. And as we got there, the police were there and shut it down, so we didn't actually get to experience it that day. But then we went from there to his house. The Yaris didn't actually move. It's parked outside his house for the whole week. So yeah, that's how we met Ko. And I don't know where I was going that story. I can't remember.
What? No. That car park. What was the? What's it called?
Daikoku parking lot or parking area.
That is
so
most
it
probably
is the place, the most iconic car park in Japan. When you're looking at YouTube videos and pictures of cars, you'll recognise this car park.
Mate, I got there, and there's no other way to experience it. So for everyone, like again, that's like never seen this, it is a service station. It's a service station with like no service station. Their service station seems to just be a shit ton of vending machines and a toilet, right? Yeah. But it's a service station essentially where people stop. You've got like lorries there and stuff, haven't you? Like right at the back, and it's like funneled. It's in the centre of what looks like Spaghetti Junction, but it's they're all the roads like funnel down into the centre of this car park, and they all kind of funnel back out again.
So you would have seen photos of it.
Oh mate, like I said, one of the sickest moments for me was like when I'm walking around like fucking R34s, like GTRs, like some of the sickest cars was like NSX. Like I'm just walking around all these cars thinking to myself, what the fuck is going on? Yeah, I'm going, what the fuck is going on? And you can just hear all the cars driving in. Yeah. And like this is just a random night.
This is just like a midweek Wednesday night.
Midweek, like they've all got work the next day. Like, do you know what I mean? But they've gone home, changed out of their suit, and come in, and it's just sick, mate. And it's good because the other respectable thing is, and I don't like to tarnish the UK, to be honest with you. Even though I get, like, I don't want to be that guy that's like, oh, everywhere else is so much better. But like, bruv, we couldn't have that here. If we had it here, we'd have fucking Barry in his Fiesta doing a burnout on the way out, and it'd have a fucking dispersal order in a week.
They like, respect the public. They
drive
in
slow. Like you hear them on the roads because the cars are loud, and it's like it's all funneled and tunneled, bruv, isn't it? So it's like the roads on top of each other, like just echoes the sound down to the middle. It's amazing. But then when they're driving in, you just hear like it just sounds like so sick. And when they just drive in down the bottom, they just chill. Yeah, come in slowly. Park up, get out the fucking car,
just chat with the mates.
Go to
the vending machine, get coffee, chat with your mates, and
then go home. Yeah. And then they just all drive out nicely. You don't get one that kicks the back end out.
Where it's like, all right, get here at 8 o'clock, and then at 9 o'clock we'll move to this location. It's not like, it's just like any week, any time, just come down, cruise, chat with your mates, and go again.
Not
and
once
it's just
did someone like burn
in.
out. Not once did someone kick the arse out on the car on the way out.
Don't get me wrong, that does happen. But it happens away from the public. It happens up in the mountains where they do all the street racing and drifting. And do you know what I mean? In industrial states, it's similar to over here. But at static car mints, as we call them over here, they behave.
Turn up, behave, and go home. So that was one of the best moments for me as well. Up Garage. Let's talk about that real quick. So Up Garage is effectively, I don't want to explain it like this, but it would be like the UK's version of Halfords, but it's not.
Up Garage is second-hand parts. Predominantly, is it?
But it's like as mainstream and retailer as Halfords would
they're
be,
everywhere.
Right?
Yeah.
So Up Garage is dotted around, and what it is they, like you said, they sell second-hand parts. So they have, this is the ones that we went to. Or did we go to one, or did we go to a couple?
I can't remember.
I think we went to one. And no, I
think I've been to everyone in Tokyo.
Well, we turned up.
I can't remember which ones I went with you.
We turned up, and they've got their own sections of the parts that they sell, and the little accessories that they sell. But then the majority of it's second-hand parts, and they have their main Halfords-looking warehouse that's a shop. Then they have an external section, which is another shop, which is full of second-hand wheels.
Yeah.
And they're insane wheels. Like over here, if they were just advertised on the shelf here, people would be like, "Oh, they're horrible."
Yeah.
Whereas there, you're like, "These are fucking sick." Like,
they're proper like SSRs and stuff like that. They're proper wheels.
And they have a massive garage section where they're taking in cars and stripping them completely of all their parts. And when I say they're selling second-hand parts, there was a section upstairs in one of them that we went to. It was bike stuff, and it was like you had tables set out with just pots of nuts and bolts.
Yeah.
So you could just go in,
just like one of them, they had boxes, like slide out tubs, and it's just full of centre caps for different wheels. So if you're missing a centre cap, you go in there and have a search. There's like 4, 5, 6 boxes, and you can just search for hours looking for a centre cap. If you find it, what, £1 or something?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So when we went there, we spent hours in this fucking place looking around. And then we found what I call shit handles, but they're not. They're the subway handles. And this is how sick it is. So they've got, oh my god, it was how many did I get? Must have got 8 or something.
Something like that, yeah.
I walked over to the counter, didn't I? They had a Junction Produce all in there, and then they had the Subway handles, and I've walked over, I think I picked up like 8. And they laughed at me. I literally picked up like 8 packs of them because they are about £6 each.
What, each?
Yeah.
No, they're cheaper than that.
Are they?
I'm sure they are.
Either way, they weren't a lot.
I'm sure they're like 600 yen.
No, man. I don't know.
Okay, they're cheap anyway.
Either way, they're like a £5 each or something. So I've gone over and I've picked them all up. I've literally done them off of their shelves, and I've gone to the guy, and he doesn't speak a lot of English, and I was like, you have more, like sort of thing, and he was just like, the fuck? Sort of, he looked at me like this. I was like, have you got more? And the other guy looked at me and said it to him. I assume he understood, and he was like, no, it's only what's on the shelf. And I was like, okay. And then like he starts laughing. The guy next to him starts laughing. The guy behind starts laughing. And I was looking at him. I was like, what? And it was like, oh, you have so many. I was just like, yeah. I was like, because these are cheap. I said, bro, I'll sell these in the UK. And they were just pissing themselves. They couldn't believe it. And I sold them here like £25 each.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Because they were real, genuine Japanese in the packet. But not only were they real, genuine Japanese in the packet, they were the good ones. Like you see the ones on eBay, and they're like these really shitty, horrible, like it looks like ribbon. And if it
wasn't for the extortionate costs of containers, you could do that every few months. Just go around a week in Japan. It doesn't even have to be a week. A few days. Go around all of the up garages, buy in as much stuff as you can, because the good thing about it is that obviously we had that little Wi-Fi box, didn't we, for the week?
Yeah,
so
that
we always
was sick.
all 4
that
of us were connected to this little Wi-Fi box, so we all had Wi-Fi wherever we were. Because
what was it called? Sushi Wi-Fi.
Sushi Wi-Fi, yeah. Because from previous experience, you don't get phone signal. EE, Vodafone, all of that lot. Their daily bolt-ons are what, 15 quid a day or something. It's stupid. So we got this little Wi-Fi box. So all 4 of us, it was really cheap, wasn't it? Especially split between the 4 of us as well. It was really cheap. All 4 of us could connect to it. So it means when we was going around the shops in like up garage, you could go on eBay, UK eBay, and just search for this part that you're looking for and see how much they're selling for in the UK. So if you could do that over a few days, go to all these up garages. When you're in the shop, just look on your phone, see if there's profit in it, buy it, stick it in a container. And
bring it back in a week.
Yeah, exactly.
Done. Mate, the best thing was as well, like, so as an example, they had a whole aisle full of what we would call the VIP tables. Which are the where you put like the fucking champagne bottles and cups and all of that stuff.
I bought one a few years ago. I've still got it.
Mate, which would sick for the Lexus, right? Did you go on the Lexus or anything?
No.
Like, but that sort
I bought
of
it before Lexus. I've never been in the Lexus, but
that sort of vibe though, would have been good, right? And like that, for example, it's like a proper VIP look. And mate, in there, don't get me wrong, some of them were battered, but you could mostly, like, even if you had the time, like, you could restore them, like give them a little sand and paint or something. And mate, they were like £5. Yeah, £6. Well, here, VIP tables
over £100.
Yeah, they're like £100.
Yeah.
I was talking to someone about like the Junction Produce.
Yeah,
they had a Junction
pillows.
Produce section in Up Garage. The pillows here, I don't get me wrong, don't quote me on this, but again, I think for like 2, you're looking at like £100.
Yeah, they're expensive.
Like, because once you paid like import shipping from all these places, there, mate, I think I bought 2 for £30.
Yeah.
And I bought them back for my mate.
And just going in a suitcase.
Yeah, and but don't get me wrong, they were kind of annoying because they're thick. But like, if you had a container, fucking throw them in, mate. Like, you just literally.
There's so much money. It's just especially now with Rona and stuff, and probably Brexit doesn't help as well. Cost of containers, they're in excess of 10 times what they used to be at the moment.
Yeah,
it's just it's same from everywhere, China, everywhere. Just contain the costs. It's not feasible.
I will be honest with you. I would like that is actually something that I'd love to get into. I would love to get into like it's just very market trader stuff, is it? It's really basic stuff. It's like, I have X product, I know how much it costs, and I can sell it at this price. Like, and it's just it's like so good. That was amazing.
Yep.
Where else?
What else did we do? Did we do Skytree Tower?
Yeah.
Did we go up it?
Yeah.
I can't remember. all my Japanese trips just blurred into one.
Did we go up it?
I can't remember.
We did.
You
Yeah,
remembered
we
if
did.
you went up it?
Yeah, we did, because I took a photo of you in that little mirror-looking section. Was that Skytree? That's Skytree, isn't it?
Was it?
Yeah, man.
Can't remember.
Skytree.
There's a lift, but it just went up and up and up and up and up.
Yeah, and then you walk around the outside.
Yeah. Maybe, I think we did.
And then
so Skytree is it was at the time a few years back when I first went up it. It was the tallest tower in the world.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, tower.
Tower. Yeah.
Okay.
Not
that makes sense.
Building or skyscraper. It's I don't know what
tower,
makes it a tower, but
just a metal frame and structure, I assume.
So,
like Eiffel Tower. Like,
yeah,
that's just
I guess so.
metal frame structure and a lookout at the top.
So, for example, the Burj Khalifa. Is it Burj Khalifa?
Yeah, building.
That's taller, but it's a building. So it's
basically, it's not actually that impressive.
No, I guess it's not. No. But yeah, that is especially if you got there. Did we do day or night? We went at daytime.
Because remember we went down to the bottom afterwards, and there was like an aquarium at the bottom.
That's it. Yeah. So if you go up there on a clear day or night, then it's the best way of viewing Tokyo and seeing how vast Tokyo is, because it is huge.
Let's quickly mention, because I'm going to wrap this up in a second. Let's quickly mention the. I know what I've got to talk about. You won't like. Well, you will like talking about it, but you were not in the mood that day. Where we went shopping.
Oh yeah.
You did not want to go.
Didn't I?
No, you were not happy that day. So basically, the shopping experience out there. Obviously, I'm going to talk about.
Harajuku?
Is it Harajuku's where the Supreme and all of that
Supreme and all of those. Yeah.
So the shopping experience there, if you're into your fashion and stuff like me, or like streetwear stuff, like, oh my god,
it is the place.
It's next level, bruv. Like, people are like, oh yeah, I want to go to like New York and really experience their shopping. Like, I've never been, but I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, if it can top fucking Japan, then fair enough. Like, it was savage.
I think Japan, as well as technology and healthcare and everything else, that they're so far advanced ahead of everyone else. I think fashion is in that category as well. They're so far ahead of fashion as well.
One shop that they have, which I don't know why we don't, if I'm honest with you, is Atmos. I don't know why we don't have that. So Atmos is a trainer shop, and
it's huge, isn't it?
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Foot Locker, but on steroids.
And as well, they don't just. You didn't seem to walk into them and it just be like, like Foot Locker's like the generic, like what JD get, what Foot Locker get. You're kind of like, this is the standard.
Japan
trainers.
Exclusives, and
they get district exclusive as well, don't they? So like there was Shibuya exclusive, because it was down the road from where we looked, and then we went to some other ones as well, and there's like exclusives in them, and I bought.
And it's the same with the Adidas shops. You go into Adidas in Shinjuku or wherever it was, and then go into the Nike shop, they'll have Nike Japanese, exclusive jumpers or hoodies for that specific shop, and it's just
their shopping experience is like out of this world. I loved that. That was most like if someone said to me like, if you were to go again, like what would you want to do straight away? I'd be like, shopping.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, I'd take a shit ton of money and I'd go shopping. Like
2 empty suitcases.
Yeah, 100%, mate. That was amazing. Shibuya, for anyone that doesn't know, again as well, is where, I don't know if I'm saying that right. If you're Japanese, please don't hurt me.
I'm pretty sure it's right.
Where that massive crossing is. So the crossing that is in Tokyo Drift, when they drift through the crowd.
Pedestrian crossing, so that's Shibuya.
And again, like, don't get me wrong, so I watched how that was made, and because obviously they closed off the road for the filming, and they put like 10 people on that crossing, CGI'd the rest in. Yeah. But that crossing is actually as packed and as rammed as it is.
You go again if you go on a weekday, any time, especially at night time in the evening. Yeah. Any evening you go there, and there's a train station above it. You can stand on the little train station and look down on it. That's the best
view. You can go up
view.
in like Starbucks or something.
That's it, and look down on it, and it's brilliant.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Every crossing, you'll see someone stood in the middle of a camera looking around like a tourist.
Yeah, because you're just saying there, like, people must be like, what are these doing? But it's because of the film, man.
It's because of the film. And another place we went to is Akihabara, which is called known as Electric City or Electric Town. Can't remember what they call it, but that's where, if you're into anime, gaming, that's the place to go.
Quick one I got to mention as well. The sex shops are weird.
Yeah, they are.
Right, hang on.
A lot of those are in Akihabara as well.
And it really sounds like we've purposely hunted out sex shops and compared them to English ones. No, they're everywhere. They are everywhere. And they are so fucked up.
And you've got to experience one of them at least.
Like, you'd just be walking into a random, normal, what looks like a tourist
like gift shop,
accessory gift shop sort of thing. And then randomly, like, you see like these tiny little stairs at the back. And then, like, as you kind of look down the stairs, you think to yourself, stock room. And you just see like a picture of a bird with her tits out. And you're like, right.
But some of them are like 8 stories high.
Yeah, we went into one that
they'll
was
have
7
different categories on each floor.
Yeah,
depending on what you're into.
I mean, so we walked into that shop. It was normal on the bottom floor, and then like you go up the stairs and you're like, this floor's full of dildos, boys. Like, what the fuck? And you go to the next one, it's like, this one's full of sex dolls and underwear.
The next one's full of bondage stuff.
And then the one after that's full of anime DVDs, like porn hentai DVDs. You're like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
and then this one's full of vending machines that you get used knickers out
I've got to say that. Right, listen. Right, this is going to sound so fucked up, but we have to explain it. So obviously, they have like a notorious what's the word?
Fetish?
They're known for their sex shops and fetish.
Oh yeah, I mean they're what's the age of consent? 13? 13 or something like that. So when you see, especially in films and animes and stuff like that, we see girls dressed up as schoolgirls. Like, that's what this is what I was learned the first time I went to Japan. Every Japanese man is a pervert, basically.
Isn't the word hentai?
You found that hentai
pervert?
Is like.
Doesn't it mean pervert or something?
No, I think hentai is just like anime porn and stuff, I think.
Yeah, okay, go on.
But you found that out at the car show, didn't you? Where if you find a crowd of photographers or a crowd of men with cameras,
they're taking pictures of the girls.
And you think, obviously, the first time you see it, you think, oh, what car is this?
Yeah.
And then because we're quite tall compared to the average Japanese man, you can kind of see what they're all looking at.
5'7" on average.
So you can look over the top of them, and there's going to be a girl there.
Yeah, I've got videos of it. I've got videos of that guy. I have scanning the bird up and down. We saw someone. There was a woman like protecting like 3 girls. They had loads of men around them. Like, literally, it must have been about 100 photographers. Like, easy taking photos.
I'll say every Japanese man is a pervert.
She went over to the fucking man and tapped his camera because he was upskirting this fucking girl, which is horrible. Yeah. But yeah, so what was I going to say? It was about
so sex and anime and porn is
a
big thing.
You buying the drawers.
Oh yeah.
Right, okay. So we walked into so we had heard about it, and then we'd also heard about, obviously, their vending machines. They sell everything in vending machines. We saw pizza, chips, coffee. It was weird. Like, we saw everything. Yeah. Then we had also heard from TV programs and stuff that we'd been looking at before we went, that they sold underwear in vending machines. So one day we've got into this fucking shop. We've seen the downstairs. We've got to go downstairs, boys. You can hear they play out loud the sex tapes, don't they? On like little DVD. You know, like portable DVD screens.
Little screens.
So got one of them. You hear. Yeah, you can fucking guess. So you can hear it. You're like, we're going downstairs. So we go downstairs. We walk in. There's DVDs, floor to ceiling, every wall. It's like by actress. Do you know what I mean? It's really strange. Yeah, it's so messed up. And then they've got this vending machine in the corner, and he's like, it's selling underwear. But obviously, you can't read it. You don't know if it's actually selling underwear. You think it is. You're kind of
It's got different numbers with different images of girls.
Yeah, and you're thinking, nah. So Dan goes, I'm going to buy one. Bear in mind, like 14 quid. He was like, I'm going to buy one and see if it's...
You're on holiday, innit? Price doesn't matter, does it?
You're on holiday.
It's just yen at the end of the day.
So he goes, I'm going to buy one. I was like, Dan, mate. Like, we've got it on film. Don't fucking buy it. This is like £14 worth of your money. He was like, bro, I'm buying one. I'm seeing if it's actually true. So we're all standing there like having a laugh, and I was like, I ain't putting money in for this.
They're like those kids' machines. It's not a vending machine as such. It's one of those
I guess
kids'
this one
machines.
might have just been
you
different.
put your coin in,
twist
it, and then like a plastic ball comes out, your toy that you normally get in, but it's underwear.
So the ball comes out, he opens it up, and he's like, it's fucking underwear. It's actual underwear. And he was like...
It wasn't nice underwear either.
Well, hang on. He was like... Because obviously, again, we can't read the machine. So he was like, is it used underwear?
Oh, it comes with little paper thing in there, like a little note or whatever.
You can't read it.
We can't read it.
Yeah, especially like I love you.
Yeah, probably.
Sniff me, I love you. So we were like, no, it can't. It's just fresh under it. It can't be used. Yeah. So Ryan, the only one, to be fair to you, with the balls to actually touch it, pings out the fucking drawers out of this little ball, opens them up. I guess how else are you gonna know? Like, this sounds so horrible, but he opens them up, and I was like, they can't. In the background, you hear me like, they can't be used. Like, and he literally goes, oh, boys,
they're used.
I think they're used, boys. Literally, I went, what? I've peered over his shoulder, and you can see, like, I think they must make a point of it to be like, these are definitely used. Like, otherwise you get a Japanese man go upstairs and be like, these aren't used. I can't fucking believe it. I just paid £14 for these. And they were, they had like an arse crack line in them.
Oh, they did.
Literally, he like put them up on the side. I was like, let's leave. And we just bolted. We
left them on the machine for the next
The
lucky
other
person.
one, we went into another shop. We were in there just literally looking at normal stuff. Again, see the stairs at the back, see the fucking pictures. We were like, we'll go downstairs, have a laugh. And Co was with us one of the times. And we thought this is the perfect time he can translate. Yeah. As he's walking down the stairs, on the right hand side, there's like a racking unit, and it's got packets of underwear. And they're on the wall, and he turns around and he's like, oh, boys, I've got to tell you what these say. He said, it's scented underwear. So we're like, okay, naive again. It's going to be like strawberry scented drawers, isn't it? Like, you weird fuck. Like, it's going to be really odd. He was like, should I read them out to you? And he was laughing, and we're like, okay, go on then. Like, what on earth is this? Like, oh, I'm so scared right now. And he was like, there was like men's armpit on drawers. Then there was, and then he was like, this one, he was like, I don't really know how to explain it. Is it, he was like, period? I was like, what the fuck? I was like, we got to get out. Like, I was like, this is a joke.
It's
like,
weird as fuck, innit?
Yeah, and we're talking about it like we went into some sleazy places. This is high street stuff.
This is on the main high street.
On a main high street, and then we came out of that shop, and I hadn't seen it on the way in. And again, I wouldn't have known until I went downstairs. Outside, you've got two baskets, one full of cuddly toys for kids, and the one next to it full of male masturbation toys, next to each other on the high street outside. And those little red things that you fucking put over your knob and have a Tommy tank to, they were, after I saw them there, because I didn't know what they were, everywhere. They were everywhere.
Every general store that you go in.
We went into like a big Poundland, didn't we? That one that was up behind the hotel.
I can't remember what it's called now. Yeah.
And they had a wall of them.
Yeah.
Just in like their like cosmetics section.
Yeah.
You were like,
they're everywhere.
It was like super drugs. You just walked in. We were just walking around getting some cheap chocolates and stuff to take home. It was like our last day.
It's completely normalised out there.
Yeah, and it was just, they were just floor to ceiling.
Do you want to talk about Maid Caf?
Oh, there. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. Okay, so we're not painting it in a very nice light at the minute. It's a lovely place. It is a very cool place. But then again, it
means no harm.
They mean no harm. But their sexual consent is 13. So we went down. I've seen the same place on a video the other day. I was looking at a video.
They're really popular. Like, they're everywhere in Japan.
Yeah. So we went to Akihabara. Is that how you say it?
Akihabara, yeah.
Yeah, and that's where the gaming district is, and that's why a lot of the sex shops are there. And we put two and two together. We also asked Ko, and he basically kind of said, around the bouts, in the best way of translating he could, where it's the gaming and anime district of Japan, effectively, like, you get a lot of gamers go there. There were shops full of like gaming PCs, keyboards, mouses, like gaming setups, everything. They were everywhere, weren't they? And then there was like a little mini Star Wars convention.
Yeah, there's arcades and stuff.
Yeah, they were everywhere. Big, isn't it like the biggest Sega arcade there?
Something like that, yeah.
And we were walking around, really cool. And there's these things called, the sex shops are there because they say that, obviously, it's going to sound a bit rude, but then, like, because these guys that are going, the majority of them are quite like nerdy
and geeky.
Like, this is what they're also a little bit into. It's like two and two go together. And they also have these things called maid cafes. And what you get on the high street, on the main high street of Akihabara, around the back streets, and I say back streets like it's sleazy, like, I mean as in you just come off of the main high street and go down some of their back roads for the shops. Same thing. You get these girls
like
dressed
up in
like
nurses or
heels and like nurse,
all different
maid
anime
outfits,
characters as well. Yeah.
But they're all like very skimpy and small outfits. Yeah. So these are maid cafes, and what they are is when you go in them, it's like these maids serve you. Now, to us as English guys and girls that are listening, it sounds again really sleazy, doesn't it? It sounds
really
like
corny,
sounds
but
like a Hooters.
Yeah.
It sounds like a Hooters. Like these girls are.
Yeah.
But it's not.
It's not. No.
So
It's nothing like that.
It's like a cute. Like I can only explain it as it looks really sexual from the outside, but when you get inside,
Like groups of girls or groups of
friends,
kids would go there.
yeah, it's like it's like somewhere that you would take like a little sister or a nephew or it's like because then they get like they put like bunny ears on you and shit.
Oh my god, yeah. So basically, we got in the 4 of us, 4 grown lads from England.
Hang on. We went in there and let's just explain the demographic. Everybody else in there was Japanese.
Yeah.
And let's just explain the groups. There was a group of Japanese guys.
Yeah.
They were all about our age, most probably, maybe a bit younger.
There was an older guy on his own.
There was an old guy on his own. There was a girl next to us, bless her. Yeah. She was, I don't know. She didn't look, she was on the same planet as us, bless her. Yeah. She, again, was on her own. She was having a wait of a fucking time.
There was a couple in there, boy and girl.
There was a couple, like looked like a fucking date.
Couples in there.
Yeah. And then there was a group of girls, and they were about our age, and just.
So it is for anyone.
Yeah, and it's like you just go in there and. I don't know. They sell
we didn't know
weird
what
food.
to expect, did we? So we got in there thinking, we'll just go in for one drink and we'll come out.
Yeah.
Because we thought it was proper sleazy. We went in there. They give you like a menu, don't they, where you can have. So you got drinks menu, you got food. Or desserts as well, didn't they? So I think we all had a drink and a dessert, didn't we?
Yeah.
So they do alcoholic. It is really expensive. They do alcoholic and non-alcoholic, didn't they?
Yeah.
Then they do desserts. But then you get. Yeah, so you got.
So the girl comes.
I can't remember.
The girl comes over. And she was like, within your package that you pick, like i.e. the drink and the ice cream or whatever.
You get a little.
You also get a gift.
Yeah, that's it.
And the gift is like signed by one of the maids, and you're like, right, okay, like this is where it starts to get a little bit fucking strange. And then you're like, okay, like, and we just picked whatever. One, we couldn't read.
Oh no, you got a photo with the maid as well.
Oh, so it was like bunny ears or like weird bunny ears and the photo, or you could get
and he included a drink or something.
A wallet or something. Anyway,
we just went for the whole package, didn't we?
We was just like, oh yeah, like let's just get this one. Like, do you know what I mean? Like whatever. And she was like, okay. She's like, okay. So like, she doesn't speak much English. She's like, when you need me, you have to say what's on this pot, which had the cutlery in the middle. She turns it round and it says meow meow.
So you don't just go waitress and put your hand up. You have to go meow meow.
They ignore you if you don't say it. You're
like, ready to order, but none of us want to do this. Like, so we just waited to see what other people do. Sitting there, and all of a sudden, this old man, meow meow. Like, you generally have to do that to get their attention. Shit. So I was like, shotgun, I ain't doing it.
Ryan did it, didn't Ryan? I got it on video, and he's just sitting there. We're all like silent, and then he just goes meow meow. Oh my god! Oh, but that's what I said. That was one of the moments where, like, I was sitting there and I was just like, I want to go home. Yeah, I wasn't feeling it.
Yeah, too far from what we're used to.
Yeah. So yeah, it was like, oh mate. So that happened. We had this fight. We got in there quick. We got out quick. We had this fight with the maid, and these three were cracking up, and I was like, I ain't ever fucking doing that again. I was like, I wasn't mad. Like, I wasn't actually angry, but I was like,
if you want to experience Japan in 1 hour sitting,
and again,
that's what you've got to do.
I have to reiterate this. I sound like I'm really overkidding it too. I don't want to explain it too much, but fuck, man, like this is so normal. It's everywhere. It's something they do. Like, we spoke to Co about it, and he was just like, yeah, like, it's like you're bored on a Saturday afternoon, like, fancy a trip to. It's like us, kind of like maybe going to the pub, but like going to the pub or going somewhere, going to like a pub that's got like pub lunch and taking the kids, and the kids get to use the colouring and use the crayons. Yeah. It's like it's the same thing for them. Yeah. But the demographic was so strange. This old man there on his own, like, just eyeing up the girls in maids' outfits, and then you've got the girl next to us. Like, again, no disrespect to her, bless her. She looked about 20, but she looked like she was acting like she was about 16. Yeah. I don't know. She was like special needs or autistic or something, but she was just having a way of the time. But she was having so much fun, and I was just like,
it's not just kids that are into anime and stuff. Like, fully grown adults are into anime, and when you're like sat on the train, obviously the trains are like super quiet. No one I think it's disrespectful to talk on a train. Yeah, trains are super quiet, but you'll notice that everyone is either on the phone or reading a book.
And it's like grown men playing anime.
It's grown men playing anime games. Yeah. Or grown men reading anime magazines.
It's so bad.
And it's just, again, it's the norm. So it's a shock the first time you go.
It was a big shock to the system.
But going back to the cafes as well, they have, so you've got the maid cafes, they have like dog cafes, cat cafes.
The cat one, yeah.
Me and Ryan went to, a few years ago, we went to an owl cafe, where there's just loads of owls in the room. There's a chicken running around. It's just it's fucking weird. It's chicken, it was one chicken, so it was an owl cafe, so it was owls everywhere. All sat up on their perches and stuff. And then you go in there, there's a vending machine, you get a drink, you sit down. I think you get like one drink free or whatever. You sit down there and you just go around, you can feed the owls and stuff. And then there's just one chicken, just a fully grown ass chicken, just running around, and he would not leave Ryan alone. He kept pecking at his trainers. It was so funny. But yeah, they just got so many weird cafes.
What did we go to? What does Ryan love? The pink thing?
Pink thing?
The little pink...
Oh, Kirby.
Yeah. Went to a Kirby cafe.
Oh, yeah, we did. We went to Kirby cafe.
That was really weird.
We had to pre-book that, didn't we? We had to make a reservation.
That was really strange as well. He was over the moon, though. I feel like I was in one of the moments where like he was just like...
It was a dream, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was loving life. But yeah, you definitely got to go. I got to wrap this up, because we're at like nearly the 2 hour mark. So
we could chat about Japan for hours.
But no, I appreciate it, man. Like literally, I thought it was good to have you on because, well,
just random shit to talk about.
No, but then we actually did have like a really cool fucking history together now.
Yeah,
that sounds like we're a couple.
It's cute, isn't it?
Dan and Dan. Here's
to our future.
Well, no, hopefully our future will be the car show real soon. Broke Boys at the Farm.
Yeah, as it stands, I'll say it's 50-50 whether it goes ahead or not.
Yeah, it's up in the air right now. But
let's hope it does.
Thank you very much for listening. If you are listening to this on Apple Podcast or Spotify, thank you for tuning in. If you are watching this on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button. These are hopefully, like I said before, going to be coming a little bit more regular now. And yeah, I think that's about it. If not, if you've only just discovered us, make sure you follow us on Instagram at BrokeBoysUK. Mine's at BrokeBoysDan, and then obviously we stated handles earlier on. Handles HXNDLEZ. Appreciate it. Safe, bro.
Sayonara.
Every time.